Hello, everybody. Ta-da. It's me and Serge once again here to bring you the hard facts AF. I just wanted to say, because yesterday I didn't say it until we're dying here in my microphone, halfway through the live, that this is going to be a triggering topic. We are going to be discussing children, and child labor and things. So if that is a triggering topic for you, it's okay to, not view this live. That's totally okay, or muted, or however you want to deal with that. But I just want to make sure that everybody is, safe mental health wise. We're going to be diving into our favorite Scientology family today, the Cardones. And you may have heard a lot about Grant Cardone on Aaron's channel, because he's talked a lot about Grant Cardone's business dealings and the fraud nature of those and things like that. And today we want to dive into Grant's side hustle of monetizing his children because, his own philosophy isn't, fitting the bill for a lot of business people. He's getting called out by huge CEOs, John Ledger, just to name one, who's in a, not just a Twitter battle with him anymore, a legal battle, the former CEO of T-Mobile. And he's utilized and weaponized his children, Sabrina and Scarlett, and his wife, Elena, is complicit in this as well. So we're going to break that down today. Serge has something important to say as well. Serge, my friend.
Hello, Nora. Thank you. Yes, thank you guys for joining us today as we discuss another reason why children should not be in Scientology. We have the situation here that we just actually found out. This is breaking news to me. So breaking news to me, I did not know that there was a 10X Kids University. So we're going to be breaking down what in the hell 10X Kids University actually looks like, because compliments of Grant Cardone, he's put that online so everyone can see what he is doing. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with Donald Trump getting sued in Florida as well for calling something a university without being accredited. So it sounds like Grant Cardone is on that same path. And imagine that he is suing the ex-CEO of T-Mobile for $100 million for so-called calling him a fraud. And then you Google the first thing about kids and 10X University, and it would be great to understand what type of accreditation this university has, where Grant Cardone is targeting underage kids. And we're going to see that website, and we're going to react, because we're going to be exposing what in the hell that website is saying. And it's also giving another way that they're recruiting underage kids to Scientology, because it's very easy. You will see from the pitch of the website how the whole thing is pitched, and it's geared towards the Latin community, you guys, because grifter Grant Cardone, pretty much lost all the face that he had while people thought he was legit. And little by little, they've been, switching the target demographic. So now they really are after Latino kids. The little website is they're pitching him as also available in Spanish. And I also did a little YouTube investigation to find out that there's so many of his videos, Grant Cardone and Elena Cardone's videos, now getting dubbed into Spanish. They sound awful and horrific. But this is a community that is very susceptible to the scams. They buy the pitch. He pitches himself as this great financial guru that he isn't. And those are the people that are getting scammed.
Yeah. It is. Wow, guys, I've just been opening some more things to go over. So we're going to dive into this. Okay. It's a lot to break down, but we're going to break it down, and we're going to start here. I'm going to start. This is something Serge doesn't see. We went over a lot of stuff, but I just found a whole bunch more stuff. So I am going to go here. Ba-bum, ba-bum, ba-bum. All right, so we're going to start right here. So, guys, there's Grant Cardone. He has several totally separate businesses. Okay, so one of them is this. This is the Grant Cardone Foundation. This is there from GCTV because he's launching his own television studio and series. Does this sound familiar to anyone? Is he following the Scientology playbook, play by play? He's starting his own cult, guys. Let's just call it what it is. He's literally starting his own cult with the Scientological model. Okay. And the Scientological model, as Serge and I have described, is you put those three pillars out, right? What are the three pillars of Scientology, Serge, that you put out yesterday?
Audits, ethics handlings, and courses.
Boom. Okay. So, first of all, he has his foundation, which is a nonprofit where he can take in money. How, guys? Tax free, just like Scientology. Secondly, he's now offering courses at Grant, not just the 10X Kids University. There's also, please hold for applause here. There is the Grant Cardone University, where you can get these beautiful courses from him. Business Training University. Anyone remember Trump University and that debacle? I guess he didn't care about that. And what's this here? What do we see up here? If we go back to the foundation, right? What's this? Casting call. I was like, what is that? So I clicked on that. 10X Studios. Now he has a production studio. This is so many like different LLCs and stuff, guys, where you can sign up to be in their new TV series, The Millennial Investor. It's going to be his own reality show. Does anybody remember The Apprentice? Does anybody remember The Apprentice that Trump did? And then also Real Estate King. Real Estate King. Apply for casting so you can go and be on this reality show with the newest con artist of all time, who's just, now I will give Grant Cardone credit for one thing. He does know how to 2024. He understands social media. He understands hustle in a way that Scientos as an organization don't understand. So then we go from here. And you have the Grant Cardone University here, where you have all these courses and blah, blah, blah. And now, what is this? It's the 10X Kids University. Look at this Spanish version available. Serge, look at this little flag. Look at it. It's just so cute.
I literally put that on my thumbnail because, again, like the Latin community is being targeted. And listening to Confident Chris's interview, like that's one of the biggest reasons that he's out there protesting, because you know, the Latin community is so susceptible to these type of scammers. They grab them by the hundreds. I mean, they really flock to them, and those are the ones that they exploit the most because they're the most vulnerable. Like, they're so uneducated, they don't know what in the hell is going on in this guy.
And they're extremely hardworking. They will work and work. I mean, most people that I knew that came here from Latin America countries when I was growing up, and they were living very modestly, and the parents especially were working 2-3 jobs and sending most of that back to the rest of their families in the countries from whence they came, because it's like, that's just the work ethic of everyone I've ever met from Latin America, from any portion of it. It's just like, we're working sun up to sundown and maybe a little bit past that every day,
And if anyone has listened to Grant Cardone, I mean, we have done it ourselves with a vomit bag next to us, because he's, again, just like such an example of the Scientology pitcher. They just pitch all these lies, and they purport to be all valid and whatever, but it's like, it's always the same thing. Like, now it's so easy to spot the amount of lies that are being spewed by him. And again, this is a guy that, thanks to L1 Harvard, his amazing opinion leader that told him universities are crap. You know, he shits on universities all the time. He's always shitting on schools. He took his own kids out of school. He's so-called homeschooling them So, in what world is the man who, all over the public record, is shitting on schools, universities, and everything, opens his own? Well, he doesn't even have his own daughters going to a school. So let that
Yeah.
really sink in for a second. And what type of con is being perpetrated by a man who doesn't even believe in college, who tells people it's so stupid? Because again, it's like to lure them in to be promoting these stupid courses and these get rich quick schemes that no one's anywhere available to rein them back. I mean, they just proliferate. They've been enabled, they've been cradled and canoodled, and you know, everyone's just like, oh yeah, that sounds great. Nobody has a shred of critical thinking skills to rein anything back or enforce the law. I mean, how more obvious can it be? The 10x Kids University. In what world are kids being sent to university?
It's yeah, it's crazy. But also what is more hilarious about this is, of course, that, you know, Elron Lafayette was an F student in college, got a made up degree from a fake university, then went on in his, you know, cult dogma to do exactly what you just said, just to crap all over education as a whole and say everybody has it wrong. Only I know how to educate. Here's the quote unquote study tech, which he stole from two actual teachers who developed it and changed it up, twisted it. And then on top of that, you know, to indoctrinate people into this radicalization of their up, you know, the way that they are raising their children. This website is not a surprise to me that now Grant Cardone is following this model. And I want to say I'm gonna be I have to be careful of myself today during this talk, because watching Grant Cardone with his daughters and watching his daughters talk is bringing back a lot of memories from me personally. If my dad had been successful in the way that Grant Cardone is quote unquote successful, I would have been Scarlet 100%. My dad used me constantly in his schemes that he was doing. When he was driving a taxi in San Francisco at the age of 6 and 7, I was sitting in the front seat with him 1 a.m., midnight, talking to passengers like a little teeny tiny adult, chatting it up with them to get extra tips. And then he would take a percentage of my tips because, you know, I was working for him as a child, you know, or he was selling Thigh Masters for a while. And so when we went to anybody who remembers the Thigh Master, you know, and so he would like hand one to me and be like, demonstrate it for the people. So then I started just, you know, I went into the pitch, I went into the thing. And it's like when you're a Scientology kid, you're not a child. You are a tiny little programmable, you know, performance piece to blurt out whatever is programmed into you, right? Because you learn very early on that you are part of this machine of making all mankind better, of doing all these things. And I'm sure these kids, Scarlett and her sister Sabrina, are both of the mindset that by them being on social media constantly, by them saying all these words about 10x this and 10x that, which by the way is Squirrel. He stole that from Scientology. I don't know how he gets away with that as a branding, but like that they are then bettering all mankind. They're on the Scientology mission. Even though this seems just entrepreneurial and business, I promise you, all of this is them forwarding Scientology in their minds. Like that's what they're doing, you know? So,
Well, first of all, I'm so sorry that you were trafficked in that way in cars,
yeah.
Nora, because at the end of the day, again, it's like the sounding of this alarm code red, you guys, has everything to do with the fact that we had to come to terms to the full understanding of the facts that our parents were in fact ensnared and programmed
Yeah.
to act in the capacity of being complicit child traffickers in a scheme.
Yeah.
And it's very, very jarring for us as adults to have to grapple with that truth, really having to have that fully sink in, because like you always say, Nora, right? It's like the whole program was like, you're helping the world, you're saving a planet, but it's like everything that's being done is diametrically opposed to saving anything. Everything has to do with enslavement. So in what world is anyone saving a world while enslaving children? It's like,
Right.
if they cannot answer that with a straight face, and they cannot, then that's why the alarm is being sounded.
Yeah. No, 100%. 100%. It's just, yeah. So when I see these kids, guys, it's just like I'm doing a lot of, we've put up the mental health warnings, but for me personally, this is exactly the empire that my father was trying to create with me as a child. So it's, yeah, it's triggering. And I look at this the same way, by the way, that I look at stage moms in the extreme sense. Like I'm talking like Britney Spears's mom, Lindsay Lohan's mom, who are using their children to fulfill some dream by throwing them into work, right? Without regard for their mental health, personal safety, their childhood, their innocence, right? Like when my oldest was young, he's almost 19 now, but when he was a baby, everyone was like, oh my God, he's so beautiful. You should get him into acting and da 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 da. And I was like, okay, well, we'll see. And we went to one audition, guys. One. I took him to an audition. It was a cattle call. So there was like hundreds of kids there. And it was for some bottled water brand. And I'm sitting there for 2 hours with my then 1.5-year-old, my 18-month-old son. And I'm watching these children who range in age from like as old as my kid all the way up to like teens. And they are not children. They were primping. They were just like me, like practicing singing, all this stuff. And the parents were all there in their juicy couture, like just looking like crazy. And I'm looking around this room and I was like, this is not the room for me. Now, thankfully, my son was just like, beep, beep, I've got Legos. I'm having fun. Like he was just playing with Legos while we were waiting. He did the audition. And then I asked him on the car ride home, I was like, what did you think of that? And he's like, whatever. And I was like, is that what you want to do? Do you want to go to places like that and like try to be on camera? He's like, not really. And I was like, okay, well, we don't ever have to do that again. And it's like, this is not a choice that these kids willingly made. Even if they say now, oh, I'm this, I'm that, I'm blah, 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 blah. They have been programmed since birth to do this performance. Do you know what I mean? Like in the same way we were programmed from birth to do Scientology, and it was just in the vernacular, it's in the space, it's in the air that they breathe. You know what I mean?
Well, it is because the children are being taught words that don't make a shred of sense,
Right.
euphemisms that are being used to control you in a way that is fully unthinkable and fully indefensible. That's, again, going back to, this is why we're sounding the alarm code red. All of these false euphemisms that adults use to speak in code between themselves, so that only they understand what they're talking about.
Yeah.
It's like, this is by design that these people wanted a special language. This wasn't a mistake. They wanted all SA to be categorized under a false euphemism, so they could talk about it, so they could be about it, so they could all be all about it, and then nobody would suspect a shred of a thing.
Right.
But you know what? It is the year 2024, and today that's why all of this is being called out. That's why we're calling out Grant Cardone. In what world is this man being allowed to run a website to lure kids?
Yeah. I mean, and look at this page here. You can become a sponsor, right? So through corporate and community sponsorships, we are able to provide this program to nonprofits, youth centers, and schools across the country and around the world. To find out how you can become a sponsor and make an impact, please click below. So this is dissemination, and they want to put it in youth centers. What does that mean? Is that just YMCAs? Is that just Boys and Girls Clubs? Or is that homeless youth shelters? Or is it like, what service is this actually giving, to teach your kids, these things, financial literacy, big money, big dreams. Oh, and here's Grant. Just look at him.
No, and read his bio, please.
Okay. So Grant Cardone is an American businessman, equity fund manager, $4 billion in assets under management, real estate investor, business author, and founder of 10X Growth Conference, 10X Health System, Cardone Ventures, and 10X Studios. Also, author of 7 best-selling business books, creator of Cardone University online education, and and the 10X Growth Conferences, the largest business conference in the United States. He's featured on season 2 of Discovery Channel's Undercover Billionaire, where he takes on the challenge of building $1 million business in 90 days. Grant is also a New York Times bestselling author of 8 business books, including the 10X. Well, wait a minute. It just said he was this is 2 different stats on the books. I'm confused now. 7 best-selling business books, and now it's 8. Like, somebody needed to proofread that. Cardone uses his massive 15 million plus following to give back via the Grant Cardone Foundation, a nonprofit organization dedicated to mentoring underprivileged and troubled youth in financial literacy and entrepreneurship, especially those without a father figure.
Bing, 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 bing. Yeah. I mean, hello, FBI. Is anybody there?
Right.
Is anybody there, FBI?
Right. And he's saying, Grant Cardone created the foundation as a result of experiencing the traumatic loss of his father when he was only 10. Growing up without a father figure in his life affected him emotionally, socially, academically. So he has made it his mission to help young adults who may need life and career guidance just as he once did. Isn't he such a good guy? Wow.
The fact that he's pitching himself as a father figure to underprivileged kids.
Gross.
It really says it all. Like, this man is no father figure to nobody. He is following the writings of a convicted felon.
Yeah.
He has decided that children are adults. And you know what? They're very manageable and malleable.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever we get told, oh, no, they really did stop targeting kids inside of Scientology, here it is, brought to you by Grant Cardone himself. They are actively recruiting, targeting kids, being brought in with this BS pitch of a university of kids. I mean, is anyone in Florida literally have a shred of critical thinking skills in that entire state? How in the hell can no one in Florida rein this man back? Imagine he's targeting kids. Imagine Donald Trump was targeting adults.
Yeah. And he's targeting kids,
He's targeting kids. 10X University, 10X Kids University en Español.
Yeah.
I mean, how much more clear can this possibly literally be? I mean, I hope the ex-CEO of T-Mobile actually starts putting some more teeth in his game and, start investigating what in the hell you started. You started calling this man a fraud. They're trafficking kids inside of the hotel that he's a paid member to. Just an FYI, just so that your lawyers can be up to speed.
Yeah.
Literally, start getting up to speed as to who's at risk inside of those hotels. Who's at risk being brought into 10X Kids University.
Yeah. Yeah. And because it's online, right, it can be used in any state or country at this point, right? Literally, but because he's based in Florida, his company, his foundation, all of those things, Florida laws are very specific. especially when it comes to kids and stuff like that. So this is something that should be, as you're correctly saying, Serge, investigated by the FBI, by, I don't know, all of the alphabets of government.
I mean, they're telling you right there who they're targeting. Like,
yeah.
What was it? Trump, what was it? Can you read that again?
Which one?
Who they're targeting for young adults who...
Yeah, a nonprofit organization dedicated to mentoring underprivileged and troubled youth in financial literacy and entrepreneurship, especially those without a father figure. So it's very specific. He's not just going after kids. He's going after fatherless kids. So in this country, he's targeting non-whites. Let's be honest. This is it's a racist thing, because
it's a total
speaking, but he's also doing a dog whistle in that, because a lot of people like to say that brown kids grow up without dads, which is
no. You know what? Actually, you know what? There's a lot of in the Latin community, there's a lot of Latin women that are single moms.
Right. Also in the African American community.
He's targeting the moms, because their mom go, oh, my kid doesn't have a father figure. Oh, look, he says he's a billionaire. Here you go. Here's my 14-year-old. Really teach him and start selling him this BS that he's not a child, that he's an adult. And again, it's like they seduce you guys. As a child, as teenagers that we were, it is very seductive for adults to come to you and say, you and I are on the same level playing field. I mean, you guys that are moms out there, you guys that are dads out there, just think about that fact. I mean, 11, 12, 13-year-olds are being told that they're adults. They can speak to adults, like Nora was saying. We were all speaking like adults. That's the language of Scientology. It adulticizes the children and infantilize the adults. That's why the code red alarm is on.
Yeah.
Because again, it's like the grooming is happening. The grooming is happening from your parent to you. They prepared you to be trafficked. In no world could we just end up there with all of that insanity that was normalized. In no world would we have just been acquiesced if we weren't coming from that.
Yeah.
But going back to the dog whistles, like all of the language was a dog whistle. Oh, you don't want to be here? That means you're out ethics. Oh, you don't like it? That means you have a miswithhold. Oh, you want to be critical of L. Ron Hubbard? Is that you don't understand words. So we were prepped for this. We were, where did you go? Nora, just let me hear you guys. We were prepped for this, and that is what we're sounding the code red alarm on, to understand that no kids are safe in this environment, period, full stop, and it needs to stop today. It doesn't need to stop in 10 years while people figure out whatever in the hell they feel they need to figure out. That's why, we're calling on everyone to start calling out the parents that are doing this. If everybody knew that this was going on in a school, Nora, like they would be going to the parents and saying, no, you're out of your mind. You cannot be doing that to your child.
No.
And, and then between parents, they should be calling themselves out so that they wake up from what in the F they're doing, and for all of you ex-Scientology parents that are out there, you want to make amends? Start talking to Scientology parents that are on the inside. Start becoming effective at communicating the dangers involved in what kids are being subjected to right now. All the red flags that you flew by when you were there. Start writing them down and start messaging that straight to the parents inside. Because you know what? Those kids do need advocates that know what to call out. Because that's why nothing was called out when we were there, because it all looked like this and it all looked like a university, but you know what? It wasn't. And Grant Cardone is the prime example of that problem still existing in this year 2024. The problem is alive and well.
Yes. Heather says you're not allowed around mics because you're always dropping them, Serge. This is facts. I mean, guys, sorry, I don't know what I hit. I hit a button and all of a sudden I booted myself from the studio, but I'm back. Okay. So, but that's okay because Serge got it. It is so gross that this is even still happening. And let's dive in now. I'm going to bring up a video, guys, to demonstrate this programming of the children here, okay? Because it is yeah, this is cuckoo cuckoo, but I have to scroll way down. Is that it? No, not that. Nope. Okay, I gotta rewind this, guys, so you can see this video is from 3 years ago. Okay, so let's just start at the beginning.
My name is Sabrina Cardone, and I'm 10 years old. No one is better suited than a 10-year-old to talk to you about 10x. And let's face it, I'm the only 10-year-old here.
Now, she's in Las Vegas at Grant's 10X conference in front of thousands of people. I just want to set the stage for you here. This is not a small conference. It costs those people thousands of dollars to attend this. And his keynote speaker is his 10-year-old daughter. Okay.
So guys, for just a second, I want you to remember when you were 10. Look inside your mind's eye and remember when you were 10 years old. Think about it and be 10 again. You were about this tall, or maybe this tall and kind of short, or maybe even shorter than me. But remember how much energy you had. Remember how happy you were. Remember how positive and hopeful you were. You know, like I said before, I'm 10. And look, I'm ready to grow up and not be treated like a little kid.
Right there. She's saying the quiet part out loud, guys. She's ready to grow up at 10. She hasn't even hit puberty yet. She's already, I'm grown up. I'm ready to not be treated like a kid anymore.
I mean, that's what was ad nauseum told to us, you guys. You're just an adult. That's what Nora says. I mean, and again, that's why we're calling out this Scientology parenting style that is Ruby Frankie on steroids.
Yeah.
And again, you guys, it wasn't just like Ruby Frankie with some offshoot therapist. I mean, imagine Ruby Frankie is one. All the Scientology parents expose their kids to audits. All of them are comfortable having their kids locked up with randoms inside of a hotel. Mind you, they're not pitching the randoms inside of a hotel as randoms. They're calling them, oh, those are the Sea Org members. Those are the highly vetted people. Well, you know what? They weren't that highly vetted. Scientology parents, for any of you idiotic parents that really thought that Debbie Cook, that Dave Pettit was really vetting people, guess what? They would find out if they were a felon, and then they would just, clean it up. And then they would just put him right next to children because it didn't matter. So imagine being a Scientology parent, full knowing. And again, for all of those who are public and didn't know, now you know. Not knowing is not an excuse. You were giving money to this organization. You were funding it. You were a recipient of the disgusting trafficking of kids at an industrial size scale. That's why it doesn't matter if you're Grant Cardone. It doesn't matter if you're Mike Rinder. It doesn't matter if you're Pedro Gil. It doesn't matter. All Scientology parents did it, know about it, haven't repudiated it, haven't thought about it, haven't had a second thought, because they do it with this level of confidence, showing their 10-year-old to say what she's saying to an auditorium. Going back to your point, Nora, about how this is just Scientology, 2.0, by Grant Cardone default. All these people paying membership and high things to be elected, to be allowed to be close to the stage and have an award and have a thing, so that, again, it's the same model of exploitation. And in what world is this still just being allowed to be a business model without anyone reining anything back?
Yeah, no. And this is, as you'll see as the speech goes on here, this is the same type of wording, body language, beingness, that's a Scientology word, like how she's presenting herself, her stage presence, guys, that you would see if and when Serge and I were children doing courses in Scientology, learning to do confessionals on adults, being in that environment with adults. For her, is normalized that she is this huge being, even though she's talking about nothing. She's literally said nothing. I'm 10. I want to be an adult. Remember when you were 10? I'm not you. I wasn't a lazy shit. I'm out here making money. Like, this is not somebody who's doing this for a truly altruistic reason. Like, let's just throw a teen out there that's been doing advocacy work for the world. Greta Thunberg. Like, she went and decided to protest for the climate because she was like, we're all going to die, guys. And that's all she's basically saying is like, hey, we need to change our thing. This girl is being used by her parents to promote their money-making, multi-level marketing scam that is, as you so eloquently put it, Serge, Scientology 2.0. So there's a difference. Like, I have 4 kids. They have a lot of opinions about a lot of things, and I get them to focus those opinions into actions that are kid appropriate, right? And if they somehow became influential because they came up with a great idea and they got invited to speak somewhere, that's a totally different scenario. But also watch, because they keep doing the cuts back to Elena and Grant, how they are looking at her and how they're influencing the younger daughter in like glorifying this moment here. So we'll get back to this.
Because, people don't listen to you. They talk about you, not to you. I was in a mall, and someone told my dad I was beautiful. We had an entire conversation that went on for like 5 minutes. I mean, thanks for thinking I'm pretty, but you could have told me.
Can you stop it right there?
That's his brother.
At 10, you're stuck. You're not really a kid, and you're not really an adult, and you're very clearly not a teenager. But seriously, I can't wait to work. I can't wait to really work, to have a job, to have responsibility, to be treated like an adult. Look, I'm happy when I work. Aren't you? I'm happiest when I'm busy. And I'm most fulfilled when I'm contributing. Yeah. I love goofing off. Sleeping in. I love my computer, my phone. Mom took my phone from me, though. It was like taking me off life support.
See, hold on, just stop 1 second. This is just giving such Ruby Frankie vibes.
Yeah. I mean, both of the kids are just performance artists for social media, and now not just social media, because this is actually on Elena's website and on her YouTube page, this video. And then, as you can see in the top corner here, it says at Grant Cardone. So and at Elena Cardone, right? So the whole video is just advertising them. 10X is here, 10X is here. Yeah. These kids are just being, pimped out.
In that conversation in that mall, she was upset that the grown man didn't talk to her about how she was beautiful. Like, why do you tell my father that? You could have just told me. Like, that's so weird.
Well, first of all, a rando coming up to you as a young kid, that happened a lot to me, because there's weird predators out there that want to be like, your kid is really pretty, and as a mom or as a parent, your natural reaction should be like, okay, and just like, you can stay over there. That's my inclination when people are like that. It's not to be like, oh my God, would you like to meet her? Would you like to like talk to my kid? Like, what? And also for her to be programmed in this so Dianetics way, right? And Tony Ortega actually did a really good article on the anniversary of Dianetics because it is now 74 years old. And in every printing of Dianetics, it includes that beautiful little segment from Elron that just tells you exactly who he is. That, you know, a 7-year-old girl who's 3 years younger than this young lady here should never shudder at a kiss from an adult, even a passionate one.
7 years old.
7.
First book L. Ron Hubbard wrote, just so that it's very, very clear how the over-sexualizing of children is embedded in the DNA of this disgusting rhetoric that everybody was put on notice. The literal first book he ever wrote, the most publicized, the one that's got the most press, the most PR, the most New York Times bestseller. I mean, imagine being the New York Times, the editorial board, granting that book that bestseller status with quotes to normalize abusing a minor and blaming it on the child. I mean, again, in what world is there anyone out there with zero critical thinking skills that cannot even put that together? Oh, a convicted felon wrote to normalize blaming 7-year-olds for being essayed. New York Times bestseller, New York Times bestseller, New York Times bestseller. And was your point going to be that they just took it out?
No. They didn't take it out. But Tony also published that when he made this book, L. Ron, he confided in his friend Forrest Ackerman that the book was going to be useful for men who wanted to run roughshod over unsuspecting women. That means, you know, essay and graping. Okay. In January 13th, 1949 letter, so this is the year before Dianetics came out, Hubbard said he would be sending over a copy to Forrest. Good as my word. However, I shall ship it along just as soon as it is decent. Then you can grape women without their knowing it. Communicate suicide messages to your enemies as they sleep. Sell the Arroyo Seco Parkway to the mayor for cash. Evolve the best way of protecting or destroying communism and other handy household hints. If you go crazy, remember you were warned. Good publishing trick, by the way, is to have the bookseller make the buyer sign a release, releasing the author of all responsibilities if the reader goes nuts. Scanning it to insert a few case histories I'd come across here and there, I got interested again and have not decided whether to destroy the Catholic Church or merely start a new one. And I grow restless when I think of all the charming ladies and young boys who walk around without the slightest taste for life.
Ew.
Okay, and this is yeah, that was what he said, Serge, before the book came out. There was never a moment that this was meant to help anyone. So when people want to come at us sideways and be like, well, you know, I read Dianetics and it really helped me out and I got saved and no. Full stop, no. Okay, and this is the passage down here. And according to Tony's research, it's in every version of the book, even the newest one. The 7-year-old girl who shudders because a man kisses her is not computing. She is reacting to an engram since at 7, she should see nothing wrong with a kiss, not even a passionate one. There must have been an earlier experience, possibly prenatal, which made men or kissing very bad. Okay. So this young lady that we're watching here in this video has been trained since birth to accept all of the things that happen to her because they're all okay. If she thinks it's wrong, if she pulls away from what her dad and her mom are telling her to do, which is this, then there's something wrong with her.
I mean, that's the point, you guys. And not only that, it's like, then they try to erase it out of you through the audits. Oh, we're going to really take up the engram of why you're reacting of your father kissing you passionately. since you should just be taking it all in, and
Right.
you shouldn't be confused, and you should just be, what is the problem? It's just a 2D flow. Oh, it's just family. Oh, we're all family here. You know, we
Right.
know each other from a lot of lifetimes, and you know, we're so special. And again, it's like that's how all of this becomes so incestuous and horrific in your own family nuclei. Your fathers and mother are convinced that you're an adult. You're being treated as that. The older the kids that were Scientologists, like they were all treated as full-grown adults. They were used as babysitters for their younger kids. I mean, it's just a thing that gets taken to such an extreme extent that, again, it is a code red alarm. It isn't a religious belief that you can have as a grown man or woman. It's just not. It's just not. It's not something that is optional because it makes you break laws. And that's why they need to be spoken to like the adults that they are, including Grant and Elena. Like, you're adults. Go and Google literally what Ruby Frankie got convicted of. It's aggravated child abuse. Check out
Yeah.
what's categorized as aggravated child abuse. Because in what world is what L. Ron Hubbard pitched, including this disgusting book, his first one, where he told all his adult paid proteges that essaying a 7-year-old is a problem a 7-year-old has. And we have a technology that will get the engram out and will get her computing back to normal. I mean, they completely disassociated us and told us that an engram was going to be erased, and all of a sudden the total essay that took place was supposed to evaporate into a floating needle. I mean, how more stupid can all of these people be? And going back to the protest, Nora, imagine that the LAPD, the idiots at the LAPD, show up to arrest child advocates protesting, interrupting the so-called religious services. So imagine that you have children locked up in that blue building getting interrogated, locked up in that blue building getting ethics handled, locked up in that blue building being put through courses, and you know, the LAPD is very pressed that, God forbid, anything interrupts that disgusting thing that we're calling out. You know, the thing that we needed advocates outside yelling at the hotels, stop hurting the kids, like somebody else already said in the protests. Go back through all the protests. Where are children being protested in these protests? They're not. They're not being protested.
No. Yeah.
I said, we didn't even exist. And yet their entire hotel ran because children were recruited, right? Dave Pettit, right? Debbie Cook, y'all ran the biggest and most influential organizations. Without Celebrity Center or flag service organization, the world of Scientology would have been dead, because you would have had no influencers a la Tom Cruise, a la John Travolta, a la Kelly Preston, a la all these people that have been used ad nauseum to normalize the exploitation of, including but not limited to, 10-year-olds that you see right here on the screen.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, let's finish this.
And I'm sure you do. Doing nothing all day in front of a screen. Yep, I don't have one up here because I don't have my phone anymore, Mom. It doesn't make you feel good just looking at it all day. Like, I mean, unless you're doing something on it. But if you're just looking at it, you know, it's useless. So, do you guys agree? Say 10x if you agree. This year.
That's so culty. I'm so sorry. I just had to pause it. Like, that just reminds me of like the hip hip hooray shit at the event. Sorry.
Well, and it's like the group therapy, right? It's like,
right.
Get everyone involved, get everyone with you, and all these cues that we were being taught. I mean, again, this is an actress. We were all made to be these child actors for the adults. We were performing for the adults constantly because that's the state that they want you in.
Yeah.
Let's agree. Like we just did a few seconds ago. To work more, not less. To learn more, not less. to experience more, not less. That's what 10X is about. Okay, on your feet, guys. Come on. So repeat after me. I am going to work more. I'm going to do more. I am going to learn more.
Hey guys, thank you so much for
Listening.
come here, Sabrina, come here. These guys. I was 45 years old and I was by myself in my life. I had made money, I had businesses that were working. I didn't have her. Couldn't find the right woman. And I didn't have these. And this little girl right here, Sabrina, was born 5 days before my best friend passed, which was my mother. And this was my mom's. Sabrina was born 5 days before my mom passed, and my mom was my best friend. I spent thousands of hours playing blackjack with her here in Vegas. And my mom taught me so much about life. So much she taught me about life, about hard work, do what you say you're going to do, work hard, show up, keep showing up.
The amount of pressure that is on this girl to just exist and replace his mother in his life. Like, he doesn't talk about his wife being his best friend, and like, you know, his mom was his best friend, and then this young lady was born 5 days before his best friend in the whole world, his mother, passed. And now look at her, like she's just the re-embodiment of this whatever relationship he had with his mother. That's a lot.
Well, they start telling you
too
that
much.
she's the reincarnated mother, because again, they tell you that after you die, your thetan floats. But now, because you did hear about Scientology, because you were blessed with the information of Scientology, now you're going to be able to float into the next body. So I have no question that Grant is running, you're my reincarnated mother that just literally died. I mean, that's how that stuff would get pitched inside of there, you guys, because again, it's like this whole disassociation of we're a thetan, we're not this, we're not a body, your meat body is just a distraction, it's just your trap. Once you learn, you're gonna get out of it. But I mean, that was just such a common practice. Whenever your grandparents would die and then someone else was born, they're like, oh, this is the grandmother right here. And, you know, that kid would grow up being told that they're the grandmother, like the dead grandmother their whole life.
Yeah. Oh, no. This is, yeah. And this is Scientology 101, guys. But that Martha made a good point. In the real world, this is called covert emotional incest. So, yeah, this is very bad. Very bad.
Very bad.
She never, ever, not one woman that I brought home, and I brought a lot of them home, 10X. Not one of them did she approve of until Elena. Okay, so these guys, both of them, thank you for letting us, you know, give them the stage and using your time. This experience they have with you, they will never forget in their life. It will catapult their start. They both, just so you know, they both wrote their own scripts, both of them, all their jokes.
So not only did Sabrina talk, but Scarlett, who I believe is like 2 or 3 years younger than, you know, her sister, also went up on stage as well. But they don't.
Well, after this, you should we'll just put Scarlett's speech, because
Yeah, I'll
Scarlett's
try
speech is just as troublesome as
and,
hers.
I will try and find that right now while we're watching the rest of this.
Okay. All right. Now get off the stage because I got somebody to bring up. I love you, buddy.
I mean, just outrageous, you guys. It's everything we've been saying. It's wrong with Scientology. I mean, imagine how many kids get brought up on stage every week. This is not just Elena and Grant having a great, disgusting, twisted idea. This is what Scientology parents have their children do. Oh, really go on stage and tell everyone how wonderful L. Ron Hubbard is because you just completed a course. And they make you, even as a 12-year-old, you have to speak in front of people and you have to say how much you liked what in the hell they did to you. And if you went up there, I remember one kid one time got in so much trouble because he went up there and he's like, I hated my course. I wanted to leave and they wouldn't let me. And then somebody came in and grabbed the kid, took him out. And again, you were punished. If you said anything truthful,
Yeah.
that wasn't their controlled PR propaganda about how everyone loves whatever the convicted felon pitched, you would be getting disciplined. And we're talking hardcore discipline.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hardcore children, hardcore. Like, oh my God, you just said something like that horrible in front of 600 people. You just black PR L. Ron Hubbard in front of 600 people.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get a committee of evidence.
Yeah.
You're going to be doing 200 hours of amends project. You're going to have to do lower conditions from confusion on up. You're going to be locked up. You're going to be put on the meter for hours on end until we find out all the other crimes that you're criminally hiding. And this is how children are being spoken to with the full endorsement and consent of the parents. They're like, oh yeah, my child fucked up. That's his ethics. I can't intervene. I can't tell them to rein it back. I can't tell them to no, because the parents already signed over their kids to be disciplined by people that complete 2-week courses inside of the hotel.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And guys, I want to show one thing here before we pull up Scarlett's video here. Let me go here to where did it go? How come I can't show that? Oh, right. It won't let me do it. Hang on one second.
Yeah, and I see somebody here saying, I'm concerned more businessmen are going to think this is a good idea. How freaking creepy. All those people applauding. Insane.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the point, guys. Like, this is all being shown. This is being put up on Facebook as on YouTube as a great accomplishment. This is going viral. Why is a billionaire having to put his kids in this position? If this man is a so-called billionaire, so successful, why is he so pressed to utilize his underage kids in such a capacity? But again, it's like they're trying to pitch him to be perceived as this big family man. Well, breaking news, the family man and this mother donate millions of dollars to children in the Sea Org that are abused because they are donating money to those hotels.
Yeah, they're donating money to the child trafficking. I just wanted to share this. So this is me at 5. That's my dad. And why I bring up the comparison to Grant Cardone. This picture was a happy day. This was taken by my then godfather, Paul Elkins, who was a professional photographer. So it's got that, like I got to pose on like, a tricycle, and we had like a lot of fun, right? But this same guy, who I'm working through a lot of therapy, guys, on my daddy issues, just a typical American girl here, so many daddy issues, but coupled with
the club.
Join the club. Serge and I, just 2 American girls sorting our daddy issues out together. This man who was charming, funny, fun, well-spoken, could, sell ice to somebody in the middle of, the polar regions. Okay. Like so much like Grant Cardone, but also took that tiny little sweet girl that was me and trained me from an early age to be a personality, to be, always talking to people. Like, since I could talk, my dad taught me to, how to shake a person's hand properly, always look them in the eye, introduce yourself with your full name. Like, I used to answer the phone, guys, at that age, teeny tiny. I was not even 3 feet tall. And I would answer the phone hello, Silva residence. This is Nora speaking. How may I help you? Like, I'm answering my own phone in my house. And people thought that I was my mother, because at 5, I could mimic my mom's adult voice. Okay. It was also the 80s. It's a different time period. I spent a lot of time alone learning things. But this is the same man who would take me in his taxi, or when he was being a private investigator, would hand me papers, like legal service papers when you get served, and tell me, oh, you see that guy over there in the park that's playing with his dog? I need you to ask if that's, John Smith. And if it is, just hand him this envelope and say, you've been served. And I'm like, okay, got it. And so I would saunter over with that cute, adorable little face and be like, excuse me, are you John Smith? And I'm like, oh, that's so strange. A tiny little 5-year-old's asking me if I'm John Smith. I am. Oh, okay. This is for you. And then they'd grab it and say, what's this? I'd be like, you've been served. And then, and then the person would realize they just got served with legal papers by a tiny child, and then start having a freak out, at which point my dad would, hustle over and we would skedaddle. We would, bolt before things got cray cray. But it's just like, my dad was using me to make money. Grant Cardone is using his children to run a fraud, faux help empire to make millions of dollars that he's laundering all over the place. And as you pointed out, he's one of Scientology's largest donors. Okay. Him and like 10 other people are keeping Scientology the lights on worldwide. Because as we've seen when I go out to protests in Portland and other places, there's like 20 students. There's nobody.
Well, yeah, Nora, but I mean, again, it's like the idea that Scientology was supposed to expand and be in a lot of places is so false based on how they qualified people to see if they belonged.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that a lot of times people really think it's like, oh, Scientology is not expanding. Who cares? Scientology is a millionaires club. And yes, Grant Cardone is at the top of that. But you know what? There's hundreds of millionaires. Look at the IAS donation stuff. Like, and again, these people are not going to ever run out of so-called money. The whole pyramid scheme is running on appreciation of assets, and laundering money of all the trafficking and all the services that they're having delivered by children.
Right.
Which is, again, what's being sounded an alarm code red. It's like you just said about how your dad put you to work. Well, imagine Debbie Cook put me to work to make her $100,000 every week. Why was I a 15-year-old being charged to make Debbie Cook $100,000?
Right. There's no difference, guys. There's no difference whether Serge was in the Sea Organization as a volunteer for 1 billion years, giving your life away to save all mankind, or what my dad did as a Scientologist. It's the same. It's still child abuse. It's still child trafficking. It's still grotesque. And like the fact that, this is still occurring in 2024 we've seen kids going into these organizations all across the country and the world. This is not something that has stopped. This is not something that is over.
Were locked up. I mean, again, it's like, and they've said, okay, they don't do that anymore right now. It's all just a crisis management operation. They might not be doing it right now for optics. People do not get access to their passports. They get told it's illegal for them to leave. As a child, you believe them. As a child, they act real confident, as if they are the law, as if they supersede all the law, as if they are somehow above the law because the IRS gave them a 501c status, and all of a sudden, all these hotels and commercial buildings could just be running around lawless.
Yeah. This is absolutely, absolutely true. Let's take a look at this video with, oh, there we go. Are we in there? Oh, I have to fix the thing. There we go.
Mhm.
Let's see what Scarlett had to say.
So today I'm here to share 2 things with you. Are you guys okay with that? Okay, so the first thing is something that took me years to perfect. Ready? So you put your hands in front of your face, then you turn them in, and when you turn them in, you tilt your head back. It's called a scarlet dip. Anyway, very important.
Do it again. Get everybody. Do it again.
Okay, ready?
Yeah, get them ready.
Perfect. Oh, it's so good to see a whole room doing that. Okay. So the second thing I want to share with you guys is my speech. So, I heard my papa talking about procrastination. He said, waiting only makes things harder. Look, I'm only a kid, but when I heard him say that, I thought to myself, that's so true. I thought of the time when I was in my house, not too far from right here, in fact. If you left this place, you could see my house. Anyway, that's besides the point. I was watching a baking show on TV, and I thought to myself, I should do my homework. But I said to myself, I'll just pretend I forgot about it and then do it later, okay? Sorry. I continued to watch my baking show, but the whole time.
Did you guys see her cringe right there when the microphone had the feedback? I just want to point that out. She knows that later she's going to be in trouble for that feedback moment because it threw off the whole speech. She's going to do a ethics condition on that moment. Also because she reacted. I think she's probably 8 here right now because this is 2021. So it is just, this is child abuse in action, what he's doing with his kids. This is a conference, again, that adults have paid to learn how to grow their business. Okay.
And they're tapping 8-year-olds. They're getting pitched by 8-year-olds.
Yeah.
So all of you Cardone sycophants that are really all about how, oh, your daughters are so talented. Why in the hell are you paying for this?
Why are you paying for an 8-year-old to give you business advice? Does she have a lemonade stand that is now, in every grocery store across the country? I mean, like, what is it? And the point that I'm making is she's not even saying anything, guys. There's not even a technology here. Why is this young girl dressed up in a taffeta dress on stage to prance around? What is the purpose of that? Other than to be like, here's a kid, look at the pretty kid, and let's get your kids to perform too. Because, P.S., we have this whole side business of 10x your kids because they don't need school. They don't need education. They need to 10x. Look at my kids. Look how perfect they are. And only with my solution for parenting and business can you survive and be successful in life. It's just like, for like what you pointed out earlier, getting the parents to, be like, this is the way, this is how we do it. Okay.
I was worrying about my homework. So I wasn't getting my homework done, and I wasn't enjoying my baking show. What's the point of that? Thank you. Thank you so much. The dictionary defines procrastination as delaying or postponing something, putting something off. What are you doing when you're procrastinating? You're putting off what has to be done. You're putting off what has to be done either way. You're lying to yourself, and you're betraying yourself. Most of all.
So she defines procrastination. She does some word clearing. And then she twists the actual definition of procrastination into a shame spiral for yourself. This is so textbook Scientology. Like, I can't.
Well, you know, she said betraying yourself is like,
Right.
you know, you're in a treason condition. That's what they tell
Right.
you. You're
Yeah.
procrastinating. You're not doing your job. You're not working. You're not contributing.
Down
You
tone.
are, yeah, down stat.
It's crazy.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
This is probably edited too.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. What do you feel when you take action right away? Exactly. You feel amazing. You have true happiness. And most of all, you trust yourself. Thank you guys so much. So, I mean, you guys are already standing, but everyone please stand up. Don't procrastinate. Come on, guys, stand up. Now repeat after me. I will not procrastinate. I will not delay.
Like, she's running Chinese school.
So uncomfortable. It's
With-
so
I know.
sick.
Both Serge and I are having physical reactions to this, guys. We are
I can't.
feeling
I
like-
literally can't.
we are literally I'm going to be done with this video now. I just want to go over let's just glimpse at a couple other things, because if you guys do your own deep dive into
Hello. Hey guys, my
look how tiny they are. Look how tiny they are.
name's Sabrina and I can do anything. Welcome back to another 10X Kids. Oh, I almost forgot. Her name is Scarlett, and we have a special guest, my father, which is oddly light. Very light, isn't he? He got shrunk when he was going to visit the giant. Yes. So now he's tiny. Yes. He wanted to be a bird, but he wanted to shrink down to the size of a bird, but the bird wings didn't really get up that well. So let's talk about things. Today's topic is going to be, well, is
See, now he's going to start telling them what to say off camera. Now, as a child of the 80s and 90s, I will say my siblings and I had a camcorder. For those of you in the ancient 1900s, kids, we did not have the YouTubes. We had to record ourselves on a device called a camcorder with tapes that you could then enjoy in your home only. Right. And we would do like little plays and stuff. Like, we would write a little play and it was imaginary. It was just like we invented it and we tell jokes, and then, you know, it was ridiculous and that kind of thing. And, you know, we were just kids. Now, what are they supposed to be talking about? Let's see.
Thank you, Tori. I want to give a shout out to you. Yeah, we want to give you a shout out to Tori, whatever his last name is, who gave us the question of what does your father like teach us? What's the most like good thing that he teaches us? And we're gonna answer that today. Yes, and my father. Where is the thing that I can look at? Is it there or is it there? Well, anyways, what have you learned from your father, kids? What have you learned from your father, kids? Well, what I've learned is how to how to speak in front of 9,000 people at the age of 5 and 6 with.
Guys, so she's a little bit older, or she's probably 6. She's already like, I can speak in front of thousands of people.
And not be scared.
Yeah.
And not be scared.
Yeah. Like, what? What? Why? Why does she need to learn that? Why does any 5-year-old need to be like, oh, you know what a life skill I need is? Let me talk in front of, 9,000 people. What? There's very few people in the world, guys, who are ever going to be speaking to a room filled with thousands of people. I've done it. Serge has done it. Where did we do it, guys? In the cult. How come we did that? Because we were participants in what's called graduation. Okay. And when you have a graduation, you are put, especially at Flag, at the Flag Land Base in Florida, at the time that we were training and everything, there were thousands of people that attended those graduations every Friday night. And if you were chosen to give a speech about whatever thing you just finished, it had to be perfect. And I mean, within an inch of your life, you could not mess up one single word. And case in point, when I was on training there, I got chosen to speak on the night that Heber Gents was there in the front row. And he had sitting next to him 10 Shinto Buddhist priests. Do you remember that night, Serge, when the Buddhist priests were there? Okay. So I had just finished my Method 1 co-audit. And I had had some interesting thoughts, realizations during that about artists and my purpose at Celebrity Center. And I wrote this really beautiful speech about how this was going to help me to be like the best Celebrity Center person, right? Debbie Cook read the speech and she said, you know what? This is really good. It's a really good speech, but it's not about us. It's not about Flag. Right. I need you to rewrite this speech. And if you want to go on, it better be good. And she just sort of like tossed my speech on the floor. And so I thought, okay, how can I make the best speech in the world? Okay, so I'm 19.
The whole wide world.
The whole wide world. I've got to make this best speech. I'm 19 years old, guys. Earlier, before I went to Flag, I just lost my father. He had passed suddenly. And I was newly married to a person who I later got that marriage annulled, guys. So there was a lot of weird things. It's where I met Aaron and Serge and everybody else. So I wrote this speech that went on to be shown at every org around the planet. And I became known as the perfect girl. And in that speech, I wrote this line where I said, I intend, and I was referring to like you and everybody else who was supervising at the time. I said, I intend to become the reflection of your perfection. Do you remember that? Mm-hmm. And when I got home from training and I would ride the bus to go home, all these guys from management and middle management would be like, you're the perfect girl. And I was like, what? They're like, we've seen your speech. We watch it all the time. We watch it all the time. You say it, say the line, right? That was a lot of pressure, guys. Perfection, first of all, is unattainable. Just for those out there with perfection complexes, it's unattainable. But we were told we were perfect. And that catapulted me to stardom in the outer org training program. Like Aaron and I and Justin and like 4 other people were the people in the outer org training program. Out of like almost 1,000 people that were there on training, all of the RTC reps, all of the supervisors were like, we were the top. And when we finished first, we were training everybody else. Right? So these little kids that you're seeing, that's the same stuff that's happening to them. Like it is, Serge and I, again, we are huge advocates for mental health help. And we have spent years stripping away these like very ingrained notions of what it means to be just like a human being. You know, it's so hard not just to like be a suppressed gay person like we both were, which was awful and horrific in its own right as gay children who were told, you know, all the things that he goes on to say in Dianetics about that. But just to like be able to be a human being without that amount of pressure on you all the time that was put there for years and then you repeat it in your own head is incredibly hard. It's incredibly hard. And I cannot emphasize this enough. You cannot do it alone. This is not a solo activity. You have to find friends, obviously. Serge and I talk about this a lot. But you have to find a therapist, mindfulness, yoga, all of the things to repair yourself. These kids, I don't, they're also living in a different world than we did, where they're on the internet now. This is forever. Their child abuse is on display forever. At least we had the, anonymity.
Imagine if our shit had been recorded.
Oh
I mean,
God.
actually, guess what? It was. Guess what? Everything was recorded except that, the video cassettes are being, locked up by Debbie Cook and the rest of her cohorts.
Yeah.
I mean,
We were
again,
recording
everything was
in a
video
different way.
recorded. Everything was televised. Everything was streamed. Everything was shown everywhere.
Yeah.
Making kids the poster childs to lure more children. We were used to lure more children. We were used to normalize it.
Yeah.
They told the kids, oh, don't you want to be like Nora? Don't you want to be like Serge?
Yeah.
Be part of that hotel, sign your billion-year contract. And we couldn't be more disgusted that that's how these people were luring other children into the hotels. And that's why we're here denouncing it all. Disgusted beyond.
Yeah.
Why is it still happening? Why is there no repudiation? Why is the repudiation of it just completely disproportional to what the danger is?
Yeah.
I mean, again, it's like, it's not that people don't know. It's not being said because people don't know about it. And that's why we're calling out all Scientology parents, all the people that have left Scientology and are like making it about you being the victim. If you were an adult, full consenting, full grown, turning over kids to this place, paying for abuses to be done to kids, you've got skin in the literal game. So it's not just a Mike Rinder problem.
Yeah.
It's not just a Mike Rinder problem. It's a literal every Scientology parent problem that has skin in the game, that has said, oh, you know what would be a great idea for me to follow the word of a convicted felon, because I'm sure that's going to be really great for me and my family and my children.
Right.
I mean, again, defend that, Scientology parents. Defend why the rhetoric of a convicted felon, that including but not limited to normalize essaying 7-year-old girls, is what you were going with, because the New York Times said it was a bestseller. I mean, sue the New York Times. Sue the New York Times. If that's why you did it, if you really thought that the New York Times endorsement meant that, then I guess it's super legal, because you know what? In what world is the New York Times publishing this book as a bestseller for how many weeks? I think they had it in the testing center. It was like 110 weeks or something.
It was one of the longest running bestseller of all time until Harry Potter came around, of course. But
isn't it weird that they would even talk about that? Oh my God, I can't even.
Well, everything's a statistic, Serge, as you know. Everything is can be staticized and monetized and manipulated by Scientology. That's the hallmark of it. We were staticized, we were monetized, and what Grant and Elena are doing with their kids is exactly what they were taught. But to your point on the parents, like a lot of people ask, and I get this in emails and stuff all the time, if David Miscavige goes to jail, which he should, he's a criminal, is that going to end Scientology? No. It will not end Scientology if David Miscavige goes to jail. Does that mean he shouldn't be convicted in these lawsuits and found guilty and like have to pay reparations or whatever the civil lawsuits are doing? Absolutely not. That's a separate matter, right? And he should go to jail for his criminal activities. But the problem, as Serge is pointing out here, guys, is that Scientology itself only exists because all the people are participating. And the adults are participating and they're forcing their children into it. So David Miscavige leaving isn't going to end it, just the same way that L. Ron Hubbard dying didn't end Scientology.
Well, and going back to that point too, Nora, to add to that is, who brought kids to these hotels and commercial buildings? Not David Miscavige. David Miscavige doesn't have children. So it's the parents who are bringing the kids there. It's the parents who, as a collective, all of them agreed that whatever they were into as full-grown consenting adults that they all are and were, was completely to be done on all kids, willy-nilly, without reining anything back, without making any type of special nothing. There were no guardrails.
Right.
And I mean, again, it's like, no, it didn't work out well for us. It wasn't good. It was disgusting. It was horrific. And we wouldn't wish this on any more kids going through this. It's like, and we're here in the year 2024, where again, it's like the child advocates, the few of ones that have gone out there to protest are being locked up by the LAPD. So make that make sense, LAPD. You arrest the child advocates, the few ones
Correct.
outside that are actually screaming on behalf of the victims that haven't been advocated for in 74 years of the scourge of this convicted felon being pitched with a full straight face as if he's some American-bred god. He's not an American-bred god. The idiot is a disgusting degenerate.
Yeah.
That multiplied his personality into his proteges. We couldn't be more disgusted that our parents fell into that trap. And you know what? They do have a lot of things to sort out. All Scientology parents, run to your nearest criminal attorney and start paying for some advocacy.
Yes.
You can pay for advocacy. Yeah. Go get a criminal attorney and tell that criminal attorney to advocate on your behalf.
Yeah.
Tell them the New York Times lied to you. Tell them David Miscavige lied to you. Tell them Mike Rinder lied to you. Tell them Debbie Cook lied to you. And then tell them that you gave over your underage kids to the disgusting hotel. And then tell them how much money you were saving while your kids were ensnared and enslaved. How much money you were saving for having a dumping ground of underage kids where you didn't have to be a parent all of a sudden. You could just literally wash it all away and pretend that your child really is saving a world. Well, you know what? We were not saving nothing inside of those disgusting hotels.
Yeah.
We were being put in harm's way, and we were being used as pawns in a disgusting racketeering scheme that couldn't be more criminal, that couldn't be more deranged, that couldn't be more disgusting and indefensible. So it is time for all of you to wake up. Stop trying to patch it up and be like, well, it was good here and it was good there. No, it's good nowhere.
Yeah.
And as long as all these kids are being put in harm's way, defend that. Defend that right now.
Yeah.
Because again, it's like there's so much like, and you're not going to save Elena Cardone. You're not going to save Grant Cardone. You're not going to save those people. Those people are having skin in that game. They're endorsing it. They're putting money. They're putting PR. They're lending their name. They're lending their kids. They're lending everything. So in what world are all of these adults all of a sudden really going to want to change? For who? For what?
No. And that's why, because to use some Scientology here, Serge, we are putting the parents in danger. And part of the danger formula, guys, is that your senior, the person who's above you, is going to bypass you to do your job. So Serge and I and the rest of the protesters, are now bypassing these adults who are putting their kids in there, who have sold their kids off to Scientology, just handed them over, written them off, literally signed paperwork so that they can get married as underage teens and become an emancipated minor, We are bypassing them as adults. We're putting in their ethics, and we are working to get Scientology shut down, to shut down the place that they have abandoned their children to and abandoned their parental responsibilities to. Because they aren't, as Serge just pointed out, they are not going to just go like, oh my God, what? They're not having that cognition today. They're not having that realization. So we are going to do it for them.
Yeah, they're having nonprofits. You can see it on Grant Cardone's website. They're having nonprofits erected to really go be daddy figures for underprivileged kids. And we're saying no. Grant Cardone is the last person you need to have as a mentor. Anyone involved with a convicted felon, rhetoric, L. Ron Hubbard, is a clear and present danger to a child until they don't repudiate those extremist ideologies and ideas, until they don't understand the type of degenerate they become by role-playing those things with a straight face, by pretending that the Constitution of the United States allows them to what? Be above the law? That's what all of them are claiming, that as long as L. Ron Hubbard wrote it on a piece of paper, they can exist outside of the law. They can engage in aggravated child abuse at an industrial size scale, and no one will give an F because They'll be too busy calling it religious activity. Kids getting locked up inside of a hotel is not a religious activity. So whatever adult wants to tell us that we were being religiously helped, we will spit in your literal faces. How dare you? We're not children anymore. And those children right now deserve advocates that will say, no, don't do it to them. Don't do the audits to them. Don't do the ethics on them. Don't do the courses on the children. Don't. All Scientology parents, stop. We don't have to wait for the FBI to arrive. Y'all need to stop it the F now.
Yeah.
Stop being infantile. You're not a child. L. Ron Hubbard was your daddy issue daddy that told you how to do everything. Stop it. You're an adult. You're grown AF. Start taking responsibility and accountability for what you decided to do based on what in the hell was written in those books. Because that's where the accountability comes. That's how you're a copycat of L. Ron Hubbard. That's why all Scientology parents are in a lot of trouble. That's why you all do need to go get a criminal attorney. I mean, never mind that the courts are still like, everyone is innocent, you guys. Yeah, they're very innocent. But you know what? They're not very innocent when we witnessed this disgusting abuse is being done with a straight face over and over and over and over and over.
Yeah. It's gross. And so we have this here. So this is the course at the Grant Cardone store. Okay, that he's hawking here. The 10X Kids University. Oh, it's discounted, guys. 60% off. Instead of $497, it's now $197. Look at that. It's on sale. It's on sale.
Buy it this week only, you guys.
Buy now. Buy one, get one free. Also, they take Bitcoin, guys, just in case you're in the digital future.
Bitcoin.
You can launder your money while you pimp out your kids. All right. So your kids will learn about entrepreneurial skills, financial literacy, sales skills, marketing, confidence, public speaking skills, customer experience skills, investing knowledge. Your kids will discover how to unleash their creativity and imagination, control their mindset, get honest with themselves, and take massive action in every area of their life. 10X Kids University is the best investment you can make in your child's life. Okay, guys, this is just like so crazy. Now, it's furthered by the kids. Here is Scarlett's Instagram. This is all public, guys. So this is, it's there. This is Scarlett's Instagram homepage. And she says, I'm a 10X kid, Grant and Elena Cardone's daughter, actress, pageant queen, and currently filming a TV project. Gee, I wonder where that project will be. We Watch Me Grow. That's the TV project. We Watch Me Grow.
Followers.
And then whose website does she have? GrantCardone.com. She has her daddy's website on there. This is her latest, look at me. I've watched men shrink themselves into a shell of who they could and should be.
For the sake of not being too loud or not wanting to embarrass themselves, or my personal favorite, not being too much. Do you know how many times in my life that someone has told me that I was too much? An unfathomable amount of times. And I'm only 12.
She's 12, guys. That's her latest post. And then her sister, of course, don't leave out big sis. Now, her sister's 14. Let's look at this profile picture. No, I don't want to look at her story. I want to
see the profile picture.
This is the profile picture. I can't.
14 years old.
She's 14 years old. That's no. And so this is, we're talking about the new premiere. Somehow Grant got his show on A&E.
Shout out to A&E.
Shout out to A&E. Yeah, let's give them a call here and see what they're promoting.
Yeah.
This is her latest post.
Audience, what kind of car?
What kind of car do you think I should get? Because I want something that is like a nice car.
I can buy her anything, by the way.
This is a great feeling. But I want something that's a nice car, but I also don't want it to be super flashy, super loud. I don't want it to be a Ferrari.
Well, it's not going to be a Ferrari.
I don't want a new car. I want a used car.
You're a good driver, except for that time you almost hit the mail.
Okay, she's 14. Even in Florida, guys, you can't have a driver's license. She's being adultified at 14. Her bio says 14 years old, first daughter of Grant Cardone, Miss Teen Florida 2022. I want to inspire kids by the example I set. We need your help. 10X Kids University /casting. Come on, kids. Come on and come on down. Be a part of the expansion.
I mean, literally using, and what is that reel about how Grant Cardone survives bad meetings? Click on that one.
The meeting we were at yesterday. Do you remember that meeting?
Yes, of course.
It was very boring, very dull. How do you sit through those very dull, very boring meetings?
I've been through thousands of, like, I knew the second I sat down, nothing's going to happen. Me and him aren't going to do this, but I have to live through it.
Actually, they're not this boring.
Because the other guy was dead. So I'm just sitting there the whole time thinking, okay, just hang on, dude. It's going to be 30 or 40 minutes. Maybe something comes out of it. Most of the time I'm pulling my hair out without pulling my hair out.
The meeting we were at yesterday. Do you remember that meeting?
Yes, of course.
And they're putting like AI art of themselves. This is just, I mean, again, like I said, the difference between Grant Cardone and Scientology is Grant Cardone knows how to 2024. He's utilizing every.
No, I think you're giving him way too much credit. I think he hires people in his team.
Yes.
So imagine being those idiot social media handlers
that
are pushing this content out. Imagine you cutting down these things, editing it out, mainstreaming this man, platforming this man, all the people that work for his IT thing. Because again, I've done research on him, Nora, and he is a nothing. He doesn't know how to do shit.
Oh, sure. I'm not trying to give him the credit. I'm just saying he's utilizing it
to help him pimp this out and push it all out and, show him all the ways to optimize it. But it is being questioned. It is being questioned why in the hell Grant Cardone sycophants, Grant Cardone employees seem to have no shred of critical thinking skills because they're drinking the Kool-Aid being served. And you know what? Again, check who in the hell this man is donating to. Before you think you have no due diligence, you owe no due diligence. All the investors that are paying this man all that money, before you go, he told me he was going to make me a lot of money. Well, find out who else is making a lot of money from this man. Find out who else.
Yeah.
Because Elena Cardone is on the record here on her video saying how they go millions and millions that they donate to charity is what she called it.
Yeah. No. It's I mean, even Elena, where did her site go? Is this it? No, I had it up. Oh, here we go. So this is Elena's website, right? So that building an empire, creating, building, and defending an extraordinary career in marriage, an empire. Right? I mean, it's
why the hell is she defending? I mean, what the?
Defending it.
Oh, God, what the hell?
What about gallery? Join the 10X empire. Oh, here we go. Are you interested in selling your home? I'm looking to buy or rent a condo. Are you interested in joining my organization? Are you an agent or broker? So she's a real estate agent. Look at this she just stole this from Celebrity Center. This is a whole Celebrity Center bullshit here. Like, this is just over market. She's got a podcast. What's her podcast? The Elena Cardone podcast. Take a listen. Interviews with movers and shakers. Insights into the powerful and influential advice on personal and professional matters. Real world issues tackled and a dash of pop culture commentary. From a mother at 14 to real estate powerhouse. I'm sorry.
What?
Oh, this is.
Oh, that's the one that she
other lady, Claudine Hibbard Smith.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, wait a minute. Did Grant marry Elena when she was 14? What is happening? Like, I almost fell out of my chair. Who does he think he is? James Richardson, the security chief of Celebrity Center, marrying a 14-year-old. Come on now. Now, I'll tell you what, if some adult out there that he's hosting, on this in these, little conferences, came up to him, and he was a billionaire, and was like, hey, I would love to 10x my life with your daughter. I promise you that match would happen. You and I both know it, Serge.
Can you actually open Grant Cardone Foundation?
Again? Yep. Gotcha.
Well, because that's another one of their websites.
Yeah, this was the
Grant
one that I put
Cardone
up.
Foundation Celebrity Cruise. Proceeds go to Grant Cardone Foundations to help educate at-risk kids. Secure your cabin now.
Right here. It's a celebrity cruise, guys. Join the movement. Let's teach success to those who think it's out of reach. To provide mentoring and financial literacy education to adolescents in underserved and at-risk populations, especially those without a father figure. Then he goes on to, give you the problem, how we've made a 10x impact. Stats. 10x kids books, 11,000 of them sold. There are 1,200 accounts that were donated. Oh, where are they marketing?
Put it up so people can see the website, though.
Oh, you guys don't have. I'm sorry.
No.
I'm sorry. I'm just going over. Okay, so this is the website. This is the Grant Cardone Foundation. Look at him with the hands clasping. This is like right out of the Scientology playbook, guys.
Literally.
Just speaking,
So
all
gross.
these like pictures of him looking off in the distance, like just a leader. And then we have the stats, guys. And where are they making the biggest impact? South Africa.
South Africa.
350,782 South Africans reached.
With 10x kids. 10x Kids books donated globally 11,000.
800.
10x Kids University users account donated 1,200.
Yeah, Overtown Youth Center. So what I'm hearing here, my spidey sense is tingling. Is Grant Cardone recreating L. Ron Hubbard's journey into creating the Sea Org? Guys, don't forget, L. Ron went to Rhodesia, which is now, of course, Zimbabwe, and tried to take over the whole country by himself and insert himself as a dictator. And they were like, sir, this is Wendy's. You need to exit before we, exit you permanently from life. Like, what is happening? So he was kicked out of Rhodesia. And then because of that, came up with the mindset and the very big doctrine. What am I about to say, Serge? An OT, what? Cannot operate alone. An OT is better in a group. And that, kids, is how the Sea Organization was born. Because then he owed a lot of taxes and other things in Rhodesia because he tried to insert himself as the leader. And so he wasn't paying taxes and things. So he went to sea.
Scroll down. I want to help underprivileged kids.
He's even
While
started his own
Grant is
salute,
certainly
guys.
passionate about his numerous business interests and helping others succeed, he's equally devoted to providing support and guidance to at-risk youth, which is why he founded the Grant Cardone Foundation. I want to help kids and young adults who need mentoring, direction, and guidance. I know how badly I needed a father figure and how painful it was growing up without a strong role model. I told my mom when I was 16, one day I will be able to help a lot of people. Now I'm delivering on that promise with the Grant Cardone Foundation. If you know a child that needs mentoring, please let us know. If you know a group with similar mission, please reach out to us, as we want to collaborate with other groups to provide energy and resources to kids in needs. I promise you that the money we raise will go to kids and young adults who need it most. Grant Cardone. Oh, well, I guess all of you that were wondering if this was legit or not, as promised by Grant Cardone.
Right. So
The
here's all his
money
websites at the
we
bottom.
raised.
Grant Cardone Capital, the Grant Cardone Foundation, which is the website we're on, Grant Cardone TV, and Cardone On Demand. What is this? I can't read it. It's so small. What does it say?
Convert every opportunity.
Yeah, this is Grant Cardone Automotive Training. Oh my God. Sell more cars, close more deals. It's like, what the actual what? It's like there's nothing he's not scamming right now. New hire
I wanted
onboarding.
to go back to I want to help underprivileged kids because there's a lot of photos. So that's
Yeah.
photographic evidence that we should show.
So here's
people.
these kids on the website that are all in South Africa that he's, helping. And also he stole Wakanda. Like, no stealing Wakanda forever with your 10x BS. Like, talk about cultural appropriation.
Yeah.
This is just like, guys, this is worse than I thought. When we started, when Serge and I were like, hey, let's talk about, Elena Cardone and her kids. This, guys, I hadn't seen any of these things. We're literally doing this all live. I've never done a dive into Grant Cardone because I just find him so abhorrent. This is like, it's very upsetting. It's very upsetting that not only does he have this following outside of Scientology, okay, where he is influencing thousands of people every day by being a literal influencer on the nets, but taking advantage of underprivileged children who he is openly stating that he's targeting. This is not a secret. It's not like Serge and I are making this up. He says it multiple places in black and white. He wants underprivileged kids. Bring me the underprivileged kids. Bring me your fatherless children. Like as if he's, gonna sacrifice them to some himself. It is just, I can't. It makes me as a parent violently angry about this. It's just like, he is beyond a charlatan.
I mean, you've seen the sham statistics. I mean, imagine having no possible self-awareness and pitching that you have literally so-called helped 350,000 South Africans. What in the hell is he doing in South Africa anyways? What in the hell is Grant Cardone
hiding his
really
money
doing?
I mean, he's hiding his guys. He's under federal indictment for money laundering and other stuff right now. Like, this is not, a legit businessman. This is a guy who clearly conducts his businesses in countries that, are a little less concerned with, rules and things than they should be. They don't really care. So yeah, but guys, Grant Cardone is one parent in Scientology that is doing this. He's doing it on a worldwide huge scale. Okay. I'm not trying to lessen the impact that he's having or doing on his own children and on all the children that he's touching. But he is culpable in the same way that my parents are, that Serge's parents are, that, Liz's parents are, that Aaron's parents are.
Jenna's parents, Reese's parents. It's just
everybody.
All our parents did the same thing. And again, that's why the alarm code red needs to be literally pressed. So all of them stop dead on their tracks. Whatever in the hell you're doing right now, stop.
Yeah.
Stop and really think what in the hell you're doing, who you're paying money to, what you're really propping up and subsidizing. Because again, it's not that Grant Cardone doesn't know children were there. Lara and I were there when he was there. We know him since we were children.
Yeah.
So there's no Scientology parent that says, oh, I didn't know, I didn't get told. They all went to the hotels. They all saw the children being made to service them, and they all loved it. They did not like it. You never see a parent Scientology literally, again, going back to all these adults talk about the whole experience in Scientology as if children were not an integral part of it.
Yeah.
And yes, they're getting called out for that because you know what? They've had 74 years to process their MF trauma. And guess what? They haven't processed it. And guess what? They still just choose to do the wrong thing on a daily basis. They wake up in the morning and they go, I'm going to double down and triple down on L. Ron Hubbard because I'm very confident that's the way to really go, to build an empire, according to Elena Cardone.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. It's just what we all have to, and when we're out there protesting, okay, because, you and I both do protesting at different times. But when we're all out there protesting, this focus and this speaking to random people walking by who are not Scientologists, but also to the people who are in there, we need to let them know that we are holding them accountable. We're holding them accountable for, their kids who are like us, who are now grown, who they indoctrinated, who they did this to, whose childhoods they stole, and for now their grandkids that are having the same thing done to them. And reminding them.
I mean, I'm third generation, and I cannot tell you how hard it is for a child to understand that your grandparents are dangerous. That your grandparents aren't this sweet people that you think they are when you're a child, because you don't understand. You don't have the perceptions to understand the scheming going on and all the horrible things that they're choosing to do with you as a child. You're so naive. You're so gullible. You're so, whatever they tell me, I'm sure it's great. Like, our survival depended on them. And they knew that. They knew that our survival depended on them. They expected that so they could keep us subservient. But you know what? We are not subservient. We are middle-aged adults now, and we couldn't be more disgusted with what has been normalized at an industrial size scale. That's what we're denouncing, every single aspect of the disgusting hotels. There's nothing to salvage. There was no good faith. Where's the good faith? Yeah. Where's there anything being done in good faith? That they're really going to practice this or they're going to practice that. We told you, it's a technology being applied. So they're always doing the same exact thing. They're always effing up the exact same way. They're doing it on a daily basis. And just because they have all this process and grooming through dolls, it doesn't mean that it's a good idea. No. So again, like Nora and I spent our entire formative years training these people. We couldn't be more disgusted with it. Yeah. The fact that we were there, the fact that it was normalized, the fact that everybody saw it, the fact that we were seeing other kids like Nora being there, that made it, oh, well, if Nora's here and that other child is there and that other child is there, it's like, yes, we saw a lot of children around us. We were all surrounded by child Scientologists. And it also worked for us to think that there was something that we were all being specially privy to, but we couldn't be more disgusted with when the hell we were supposed to be being privy to. This technology is disgusting. It's dehumanizing. On kids is unthinkable. It's full, straight up abominations being state sanctioned by the IRS. Let's not forget that people, adults, are being goo-goo gaga'd by the IRS. Facilitated. Yeah. Their taxes lowered because they're giving money to this disgusting hotel operation. A la Grant Cardone. How much money has Grant Cardone funneled in there? And again, they're not getting anything out of it, you guys. Grant Cardone has Scientology financiers that go, oh, you're a Scientologist, so we're going to give you this, we're going to give you that. It's a whole network of them doing each other's bidding. They're there because they want the network. They are there because they want unfeathered access to kids, and that is getting called out. It's not okay. You don't get unfeathered access to kids just because you're a paid member of a disgusting hotel. Yeah, 100%. If you guys have questions, please write question or comment before it. I'm trying to star stuff, but I want to get to some of these starred comments here. Blake Reed, thank you for your super chat. Sorry, Grant Cardone, but I can't condone. Hashtag no more Grant Cardone, no more kids around Grant Cardone want to be David Miscavige. 100p. Again, Blake, thank you again for another super chat. Also, can we add Andrew Tate to our list of idiotic Chiquito Pito, no flights list of cult leaders, because he can get wrecked too? Yes. Yeah, I agree. Blake, again,
Thank you for another super chat. Little girl, a billionaire father, gives cult speech. She's been practicing for weeks in a stripper outfit to make him proud. Her father, in front of 1,000 people, that's great, honey. Now get off the stage. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Jennifer B., thank you for being a member. Question: why do you think Grant has chosen his children, exposing them to so much unneeded publicity? Why the desire to use them? Serge?
I mean, again, you guys, because he's a fraud. And they're using kids to lure adults that are watching those girls and going, oh, yeah, really have to be part of that. I really have to be paying the high $10,000 tickets that they're selling them because, you know, don't I get to go see those kids? And again, it's like, this is a so-called billionaire that puts his underage girls front and center. And you didn't finish the Sabrina and what's the name of the other girl? Sabrina and Scarlett's. Actually, do you have it at all?
Which one did you want?
The last part of that interview you need to see.
Which
Sabrina and Scarlett when they're really young.
Oh, when they're really young? Let me pull that up here. 1 second.
Because, I mean, this is what's being denounced, and you guys are gonna see.
The one
I actually did a reaction video to this, but I want everyone to see it because I just remembered that we didn't actually cover that because we got triggered with the interview and sort of clicked away.
We totally did. I apologize. And now my algorithm is going to be so messed up, guys, because this is on my YouTube.
Scared and running off. What I have
I'll
learned.
just put it up though. It's not up. It's not up.
This way right now.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, and I'm putting it this way, but I'm putting it like outright. Bobblehead, stop. Anyway, my thingy majig is my daddy, my papa, my father taught me how to like. This is like an important skill that everyone should know to like do your job really well so like you get more income and like so like you have a lot of money and then you can take care of your family and then you have a good house and then everything's awesome. Yay. And the other thing that my father taught me is how to make math fun. What is the thing called again?
Adding, subtracting, and multiplying.
Adding and subtracting and multiplying. I haven't learned how to multiply, but my father, I can't wait because my father said it's the funnest of all. Well, it is. I'm doing that right now, and it is. Come here, Papa. Stop bobbling, Bobbler. Next thing is, what's yours? I already said mine.
She just said hers.
Second.
Come on.
Your second one. I already said my second one is.
Oops.
Oh, what is it?
Oops. Oopsie daisy.
I forgot.
You know what they say, huh? A sharp pencil is better than a long memory.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, number one.
What was my second one?
First of all, we want to thank you guys because you
This
guys.
is the real Papa. This is a bobblehead.
That's
Yeah.
good. So
made that up.
first of all, people have really missed the 10X kids.
We're so sorry. We
Okay.
haven't been at the office for a long time.
And you guys need to bring back 10X kids. If you guys want to know about 10X kids, make sure you post in comments, come back, and maybe even what topics. The second thing that you said you learned from me on the way over here was, what was your first thing?
Booking. My first thing was working
book
really
thing.
hard. Oh, this was it. My papa taught me how to read very well and to like not pass words that I don't understand and to look them up.
What are you reading right now?
Harry Potter. I'm on the 8th chapter.
In like 3 days.
Yeah.
And you know, it's interesting is she had the third book and she realized that she was reading out a sequence that it was.
No, I was at
outrageous.
this. I was at the last book.
Oh, and she's like, I gotta go, Papa. I gotta go start on the first book. What's the other thing you?
So she got to the 8th book of Harry Potter, guys. And just to quickly explain this Scientological principle that is so ridiculous. If you're doing something and you're doing a task and it has many steps, and you get to a certain step and you start failing in that step, it's considered out gradient. Like if you look at like a hill's a gradient, and then you get to this high point and it's too high for you, it's too much, you fall over, right? So that's just like a physical demonstration of out gradient. So she had clearly reading a too advanced book for her. And then she gets to the 8th book, which if you guys have read the Harry Potter series, it's very violent by the 8th book. And then so he made her go back to the beginning and start all over again, because that's the solution in Scientology. When you get to a step and you're failing at it, you just go back to the beginning, start over, and get that gradient that you need. Yeah. This is, so here is where they're just spewing Scientology stuff. This is just a Scientological conversation now.
Well, it's about to get more disgusting. So just get a vomit bag close to you, because it's
here we
really
go,
about to take a dark turn.
Oh God, I'm going to eat my candy.
I already said it.
No, the second thing.
I already said that.
Oh,
Say
you
the
did them
second
both,
thing
huh?
again.
Oh, wow. So you guys are about ready to wrap up on the show. Is there any other questions? Hold on. Let me check the comments right now.
Listen to
Geraldo
this.
wants to know, what are some secret things that you do?
Is Geraldo a real person?
Yeah. I'm looking at the comments right now.
Okay, Geraldo is a real person.
Javier.
Javier is a real person.
No, Geraldo,
Some
Javier.
secrets. Some very secrets that you
wanna share a
probably don't
secret?
know.
Listen
Is
to
when
this.
on weekends, when we go to the spa, like the spa day, we go to the steam, let it get really hot. Well, it's not so hot for him, but it's very hot for me. So we let it get really hot, and then I throw freezing water. And then he says he's gonna get back at us, but he never does. Okay, my turn. Don't tell anybody, because this is an ancient secret that should not be shared.
Good story time.
On the bed, some days, I pretend he's a horse and he bucks me off and then rolls me over. That part isn't my favorite, though.
What's the horse's name?
Charlie. Charlie.
Okay. So any questions you guys have for the audience? Anything you want to do? When do you want to come back?
Stop.
Tell you.
Okay, wait a minute. So he's playing horsey with his kids. That's not unusual. But then he bucks her off and rolls her over.
And then when he's on top of her, that part is not her favorite. Why is the father on top of this young girl being put on social media to some random, disgusting Gerardo, whatever the hell that man was, that really wanted to hear the secrets of these underage girls, that Grant Cardone just literally get his own child, blast them, and he comes in and pulls on her hair and does all of these weird, uncomfortable things. In what world is this? Just literally what it is. It's an ancient secret that should never be shared. That's how she characterizes it. I mean, rewind it so you can hear it again, Nora, because literally.
That part isn't my favorite, though. He's gonna get back at us, but he never does. Okay, my turn. Don't tell anybody, because this is an ancient secret that should not be shared.
Good story time.
On the bed, some days, I pretend he's a horse and he bucks me off and then rolls me over. That part isn't my favorite, though.
What's the horse?
And notice how he's laughing. Trying to
What's
make
the
less of
horse's name? It's Charlie. He's a Charlie horse. You know what a Charlie horse is, right, Serge?
Charlie horse? No,
Yeah. So an American, it's an American thing. You punch somebody as hard as you can, and it makes that part of their body go like numb and hurt a lot. That's called a Charlie horse. It's a, yeah. So the fact that this horse's name is Charlie is even worse. It made it like a 10x worse.
10x.
10x worse.
Look at her going like this. Shh, never talk about this. This is an ancient secret that shouldn't be known. Because yes, even this little girl is screaming for help.
This is
And she's not getting it. She's not getting any help at all.
I have so many feelings. I have to control myself a little bit. You were joking about the barf bag. Yeah. This is
Yeah, how is this posted? I mean,
it's posted under the title of the thing is 10x Kids Ask Sabrina and Scarlett anything.
anything. I mean, imagine even that is already disgusting. Why would you have, if you're a so-called billionaire, why would you be having your daughters? But again, you guys, I mean, this goes to show you how much children are used by the Scientology parents to lure people into their activities. I mean, again, it highlights how they are that depraved, how they are that level of degenerate. They have no critical thinking skills.
Yeah.
They become predators. They become monsters. L. Ron Hubbard teaches them how to become that, how to be that with a straight face, how to pitch it as if there's some sort of empowerment in there for the child. And no, again, this was so age inappropriate what they were having us do. We see it all through them. They're being asked for a withhold. So it's very peculiar to me that this question that wasn't even a Scientology question that asked for secrets is answered in this way by this underage girl.
Yeah.
Because again, it's like, this is the type of stuff that they want to know at the hotel. And believe you me, like, you know, this is what Scientology does to pretend that they do something about it. This would be a string getting pulled after Scarlett just outed her dad doing this. Scientology goes, Grant Cardone, the ethics officer wants to talk to you. Oh yeah, we're going to do a metered ethics interview that the ethics officer wants to really ask you these questions on the meter. Have you ever done something sexually perverted with your underage daughter?
Right.
Have you ever done anything you wouldn't want the FBI to know about you and your daughter? Is there anything that you have done with your underage daughter that you're keeping secret? Grant Cardone would have answered those questions, required to answer those questions. With what you said, Nora, from A to Z, there's not one detail he can miss about what was inappropriate in his relationship. Now, he's being coddled. He's being cradled and, oh no, in the hotel, whatever you say, it was going to be kept so confidential. It's going to be so religious. You have no idea. So now Grant Cardone is incentivized to share with them what he's been doing, get his ethics in with the technology of L. Ron Hubbard, and then all of a sudden, whatever he did with his underage daughter doesn't count, is not a thing. And then you wonder why this man gives them millions of dollars. Don't wonder it. Don't wonder it. I mean, if you're an idiot that is an investigator and cannot put a single dot together, let's give you some pointers, like the kids that grew up in Scientology that know how to translate this garbage. We couldn't be more disgusted, but that's how it works. Yeah. And yes, the fact that it is all known is what gives nothing plausible deniability. It's what makes this so depraved and disgusting.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. It's just, and this video, guys, is from 2018. So it's 6 years ago, almost to the day, actually, because this was posted on May 2nd, 2018, that video hit the internet. So that video has 23,536 views in the last 6 years. You know, the lesson that we've had to all learn as parents in the 2000s and in the age of YouTube and Instagram and Snapchat and Facebook and Twitter and all these things is that when you post something, whether it's this ridiculous, grotesque thing, or you're posting an innocent photo of your kids because your kids were at a birthday party and you're like, it's my son's birthday today. And here's his him blowing out the cake candles, right? The problem in today's world when you do that is if you read the terms of service of any of these social media sites, they are free for a reason, right? You don't pay for Facebook or Instagram or YouTube or any of these things. The reason why you don't pay for them is, as I've explained to my kids, is you pay with two things in your life. You either pay with your money or you pay with your identity. Okay. And so, no, Apple, absolutely not. When you're paying with your identity, you are saying you're agreeing in those terms of service that any image or words or anything else that you post does not actually belong to you. And they may use it in any way that they want and sell it to whomever they want, however many times. Okay. That picture you posted of your 4-year-old blowing out the candles, that's now everywhere. It's being used to generate AI art, all of these things. The other thing that the internet has fueled, and this is the dark side of the internet. There are a lot of great things about the internet. I love putting, a show on for you guys and talking to Serge and other people and educating people. But the dark side of the internet is that people who are pedos now have free reign and free access to things like this content. To see children like that, as Heather pointed out, one little girl is sitting how I used to sit. I still don't sit with my legs closed. This is why I wear pants all the time and not a skirt. Also, skirts make me uncomfortable. And Serge looks better in them anyway. He has better legs than I do. So, but like seeing a little girl who's doing that now, we are recognizing that this is like danger, danger, danger. Other people are downloading this content for the exact reason that we are screaming danger. So it is not just the proliferation of cults and money marketing scams and all this other stuff. This is the straight up selling of his children to those people. He knows exactly what he's doing. This is not a mistake. This is not oh my God, I had no idea. Like, he knows exactly what he's doing right now with his children.
Trying to ensnare the whole family, right? Because it's like, let's ensnare the father and the mother to really invest with us. And then we have these products for kids. And then look, we're just a family. We're just such a successful family. Don't you want to be like us? And no, you shouldn't want to be like them at all. And that's why we are sounding the alarm code red.
Yeah.
Again, for all those people that are like, oh yeah, but this is good about him and that is good about him. What is good? We've literally laid it out here today, made the case for how the kids are in danger. So how are you supporting this man? Any of you?
Yeah. 100%. Let me, it's just, it's grotesque. It's grotesque. Let me get the rest of these starred comments here. From Hal Storm, Grant Cardone doesn't seem to know that the internet is connected. He will go on different internet programs, contradicting himself and letting racist, derogatory, condescending stuff fall out of his mouth. Yeah.
Very good point.
Yes. Serge is making a good point. You guys are both making good points. Grant doesn't understand how it all works, but he understands it's necessary and is exploiting it in the same way that Trump does. Do you know what I mean? Like,
that's a good
Trump
picture, you guys. I mean, again, he's just a salesman person. Correct. Selling himself, selling a lifestyle that is all fraud ridden, as we would know him, as we've been in his literal orbit, as we were there as kids growing up with him, seeing that he's always been the same blah, 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 blah. He doesn't stop yapping. It's all just a blah, blah, blah. And that's how so many of these Scientology people get around, just by blabbing their mouth and obfuscating what they're doing to the kids inside the hotels.
100%. Sue B, thank you for being a member. She wants to know how many of these kids are tricked into joining the cult. Well, they're underprivileged, fatherless kids that he's targeting. So probably a lot of them would be my guess.
My guess would be any that show worthwhile. We really need to grab you. Just like Laura and I were hand selected. It's like, oh, you're very smart. You're very adult-like. Again, because they're not going to the underprivileged, trouble ones that are not showing signs that they would just follow and be very subservient. So they're looking for subservient kids that they can traffic.
People pleasers.
Literally.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Pip's mom. Thank you for being a member. One of my oldest friends went to a 10X seminar and has no idea he's a Scientologist. Yeah. Because he doesn't say Scientology business genius Grant Cardone. He's very careful to separate church and state in his 10X world. But if you read the books, it's all stolen Scientology shit. Honestly, Scientology is so litigious, is so diabolical in their control of things, guys. This is why the IRS gave them tax exempt status. This is why the LAPD is in the palm of their literal hands, because they are the most litigious, most horrifically just clap back kind of organization that
but I would add something else to that, because that doesn't create the undue influence, right? Like the litigiousy, it doesn't, they don't create friends like that. They compromise these places by flooding them with money, flooding them with special favors, putting a whole show that they're very helpful. They're going to show them a whole side of them. They will never show them what they're doing to kids inside of the hotels. So the LAPD can be more clueless or looped out. They could be more stupid and completely looped out on purpose.
Right.
They don't let anyone walk around the hotels without being fully vetted. Let's make sure that's clear for people that think, oh yeah, this is a place where anyone can just walk in. You cannot walk in. I mean, we've shown all the streamers right there. You cannot walk in. You're just from the street. You're very curious. Oh, they take you to the place where you're allowed to go. And then based on all these things that they're checking, they're really going to see if you're going to go in or you're going to be told better luck next lifetime.
Right. Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah. Catherine, hey, thanks for being here. Does he just want fatherless children so he can have free labor?
I mean, good question. Put it out for him. He can clarify that.
Yeah.
Through his lawyer, through his, fraud-ridden lawyer that's really drafting up litigation like that.
Yeah. Tazzy D, thank you for being a member. You're giving John Ledger legal team so many angles. Yes, John Ledger, as a former T-Mobile employee, I love you, but also please tune in, check it out. We're doing some research for you, pro bono, as Serge would say, pro bono for you.
Well, I mean,
breaking it
down. Bro, getting those kids out of the hotel, the ones that Grant Cardone is paying to keep locked up.
Yeah. And this question, Sue, no, she's not talking about doing the purif with her dad. She literally says she's going to a spa day. So because they are super rich, and I'm put that in air quotes, they have to live the influencer lifestyle. So everything they do is documented. They have to go to these posh, spa places and take their pictures and promote the spa place. So these kids are going on the daddy-daughter dates to the spa where they're sitting in a steam room with their dad, and who knows who else is in there. Let's be honest, because most kids don't want to sit in a fucking steam room. I certainly didn't at 12 when I did my purif. I was like, this is some bullshit. CalMag is
not a sauna. So the purif is the sauna.
Right. Yeah. So no, it's not. They're not doing that. I'm sure they probably have done it, but that's not what she's talking about. Yes, Kathy, 100%. It is giving toddlers and tiaras. Totally. Yeah. Yeah. This is also true, Heather. I hate that he was hoping that this channel his daughters have or had was going to blow up so he could pocket the money. He's literally using his kids. This is heartbreaking. Yeah, guys, as YouTubers, I can tell you, as somebody who's doing this, quasi full-time right now, it is very hard to make money on YouTube. I know Liz Ferris just did a live where she was talking about how much money she had made in the last month. She made like $500 or something. And that was her biggest month on YouTube. And she has quite a few followers and she puts out a lot of content. Okay. So there is a whole game to play in the algorithm to try and like make money and do all this kind of stuff. It is not as simple as like you just pop up a channel and then all of a sudden you're making, 50 G's a month on the YouTubes. It's not. Otherwise, I would be like, everybody, you get a channel and you get a channel. And we just tell everybody to start a YouTube channel and then you just, be a billionaire. That's not how that works. So yeah. The fact that he was marketing his kids and monetizing them and, all that other kind of stuff, absolutely another form of child abuse, just more child abuse. And Chris is quoting you right now, Serge. These people do not give a shred of a literal F. Serge, Serge has iconic quotes, guys. I cannot, the accent, everything is just like, it makes it's chef's kiss. Serge has made the word literal fucking cool again. Like, because he's using it in the right way.
I'm literally trying to get the point across, you guys.
Yes.
We don't want to be here for the next 10 years. Again, very simple. All kids, no more audits. All kids, no more ethics. All kids, no more courses. 3 things that we're asking to stop now. Cease fire. Cease fair gaming kids.
Exactly.
Cease subjecting these kids to these disgusting things. Cease it right now.
Yeah.
We don't need a court order. We don't need the FBI. We don't need nobody. All Scientology parents, you're on notice. Every day that goes by that children are still being subjected to this is another day that you're just adding to your own sentence. Because really double check if following the rhetoric of a convicted felon is going to end you up in the right side of the law. Check with a criminal attorney if that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Just give them a call. Oh, hi, criminal attorney. Oh, yeah, here's my 10 grand retainer. Now, let me ask you a question. Going inside of a hotel and following the textbook of a convicted felon, is that going to get absolved because I was inside of a hotel? Oh, you mean no? You mean I'm facing legal exposure? Oh, really? Oh, I could be thrown to jail. Oh, I could be charged with felonies. Oh, I could be charged with conspiracy. Oh, I could be charged with working in a racketeering child trafficking ring conspiracy. Oh, okay. Well, you know what? Here's another 50 grand. Start giving those retainers to your criminal advocates that need to defend you on what the hell you have all done, Scientology parents. All of you, go get a criminal attorney. All of you, go get some advocacy. Put the criminal attorneys to work for you to pitch how, oh no, Your Honor, she didn't know anything, but she did video record it. She did transcribe it. She did write a report about it. She did send it to 100 people so that we'll all be notified. So how in the hell did they not know what in the hell these people were doing? It's called doing it with premeditated purposes to violate and break the law.
Yeah.
So we're all about the law in these hotels. Spree is over. It's over AF. Stop being delusionary. Stop relying on the crooked attorneys that Mike Rinder and his buddies at OSA hired to prop up this disgusting racketeering scheme. Stop it. Stop it immediately. Stop it right now. Go and turn yourselves to the FBI Crimes Against Children Unit. Cooperate. Make it stop.
Yeah.
For kids.
100%.
That's all that we can ask of Scientology parents. There's nothing else you can do. No conversation with us is going to change a shred of a thing. Our childhoods are gone. They're gone.
Yeah.
There's nothing there to recover. There's nothing there to get back. So the only childhoods that can be rescued are those ensnared as we speak.
Correct.
Today and every day that goes by, every day that the LAPD arrests all the advocates standing outside, asking questions, calling the vans, child traffickers, transporting everybody around. And again, the adults that are there, they've been talked to very nicely. Oh, come out. We're going to help you. We're going to give you muffins. You know what? They don't give a literal shred of an F. They don't give an F about your muffins. They don't give an F about their goodwill. They're very convinced they're really doing the greatest thing on earth. Well, you know what? Double check if you really are. Because, again, it's like, yeah, we were all scammed. Okay, it's the year 2024. Today, you have to double check. Maybe 10 years ago, you really thought that oh yeah, but this made a lot of sense. Well, today it doesn't make sense. Today, that's what's being called out about it. And that's why you are getting put your ethics in. Because if you don't put your ethics in, then who suffers? The kids that don't know what in the hell the adults are talking about. And we do know what they're talking about. And we're calling it out and we're saying, no more.
Yeah. No, 100%. 100%. What we need to, I'm going to put this up here. I need to share this one. Boom. So this question here, what can the SPTV Foundation do if a minor wants to get out? So number one, let's bring this up. So sptvfoundation.org, that is the website to go to. Number one, if a minor is in the C organization right now, or, and they're like, I got to get out of here, I need help, they can contact, the SPTV Foundation, and they will use their resources to help that person get out and get reunited with, family, whomever. Okay. They're going to advocate step by step, because that would be a very complicated process, especially for a minor, but it's not impossible.
But that's why we're also amplifying this conversation to the parents, you guys, because
exactly
the best way for the minors currently ensnared and stuck in there is for the parents to go, you know what, we need to have a sit down. We need to tell you what we've been doing is very disgusting. What we've been doing is very crooked. What we've been doing is against the law. Subjecting you to audits was not a good idea. Subjecting you to courses was an illegal idea. Subjecting you to ethics handlings is full-blown felonies that our criminal attorneys are advising us to stop doing on you immediately. So no more Scientology for you. That's all that needs to happen. That's how children are going to be saved. If their parents are not telling them that, strangers from a corner speaking it aren't going to necessarily stop them. But what would stop that is if my parents had come to me and said those three things. Yeah. No, we were out of our mind. I don't know what in the hell we were thinking, subjecting you to this. This stops. This is not something you should be doing. Don't worry about it. We all need to change. We need to stop doing this ASAP. Throw all the books in the trash.
Right.
Announce L. Ron Hubbard. Go take yourselves to the FBI and make it stop already. Stop giving excuses about how, you're really doing some work. You're doing nothing. You're all sitting out there doing nothing. You're not even protesting. How pathetic can Scientology parents be? In what world are advocates that had nothing to do with this problem the ones that are doing the heavy lifting, while all the Scientology parents are just doing what? Nothing? Just being part of the nothing to do with me club is all we ever get. Let me just stand out here and pretend I had nothing to do with it. Even though, there's plenty of receipts of how much money, every single dollar you pay to these hotels is how much skin in the game you have. Yeah. So before any Scientology parent wants to say, I didn't know, how much money did you pay? Because with that figure alone, we have a receipt of how much literal exposure you have to have normalized this, how much you personally funded this problem.
Right. Yeah. But if you guys want to, volunteer or give your time or do any of those things, you can contact, I'm just going to take that down. You can contact the foundation here. If you want to volunteer to help out when people are leaving and they need many different things, you can contact the volunteer coordinator, or you can give them a call. Okay, but this is the number.
Continue amplifying the message, you guys. Yeah. Like you told us before, like, how can we help? It's like every time you watch a stream, every time you guys keep saying, kids cannot consent, no more kids in Scientology. Every single time that is written and thrown out there is a chance for that to land in the hands of a Scientology parent that is being told kids cannot consent, that will short circuit their idiotic idea that they're being helped.
Yes.
Because that literally is a statement that should be short-circuiting them if they have any humanity left in them. If they have no humanity and they're a complete degenerate, then it's not going to resonate at all, because they're going to be like, oh no, we're saving a world by doing this disgusting thing on a child. But, there will be some that will go, kids cannot consent. I'm subjecting my child to ethics and audits and this. People are calling me out outside. They're calling me a child trafficker, which is what this makes me, a child abusive Ruby Frankie on steroids. If you want to be a Ruby Frankie on steroids, continue being that. But there will be a day that you won't get away with it. There will be a day where you will get exposed, because the legal system will catch up to you. We will make sure of it. We will make sure of it. The facts are exposed. Period. Like, if no one's doing anything, it doesn't mean that it's not illegal. It just means that there's a bunch of people playing dumb. And you know what? The facts getting exposed, all of you becoming child advocates for this cause, screaming outside of these hotels, get the children out now. Stop auditing them. Stop giving them ethics handlings. You're not helping them. You're actually harming them. So stop it. Stop having unfettered access to kids inside of these disgusting hotels.
Yeah. We need to keep doing that. And you know, I'm planning on being in Portland tomorrow protesting. I'm going to put up my time and stuff after this. So I will be, you know, putting some more chalk art down. And I will tell you, the child trafficking cult gets the most attention. And we're going to have some hashtags, kids cannot consent, everything. Because that is what people pay attention to, guys. They pay attention to crimes against children, crimes involving children, children being harmed, because these are facts. It's not like, oh, let's just talk about this so that people like, well, look, right? This isn't for clicks. This isn't for a popularity contest.
Universal law. I mean, again, kids cannot advocate for themselves. If that's not clear to anybody, then I mean, then we're really in a whole lot of trouble. Like, they need someone to scream for them. They don't understand what in the hell. We didn't understand what in the hell.
No.
And we're suffering because we didn't know that, because we weren't advocated for. And no more kids need to be going through what we went through. Our childhood was disgusting. We wouldn't wish it on our worst enemy.
No.
We wouldn't wish it on any child to be treated in the way that these parents treated all of us.
Yeah.
So we are saying, stop it. Stop it. And we have the right to say that. We do have the right to say that, given that the law is on our side, given that the law is not on the side of the convicted rhetoric of this felon that put all of his proteges, paid proteges. Our parents were paying to be like L. Ron Hubbard. There's a lot of problems that happen when you cross that line. So again, that's racketeering. Influence. This person does a racketeering action, then this one gets influence, and this one is doing it, and that one is doing it, that everyone's doing it. And just because everyone is doing it does not mean is fully legal and above the law.
Yeah. Yes. And the way you guys can help us, if you have not given that like button a touch assist on both my stream and Surge's stream, please go do that. Thank you for commenting along with this, because that boosts the algorithm as well. But all of the live streamers, Confidence Chris is here in the stream with us, is doing amazing work daily out there. All of the other streamers that are out there daily. I mean, we've got the, if you need to know all of the streamers, I'll pull it up right now. Please go to, I'm going to pull it up and I don't know, UK, please hold. Let's see here. She's in the UK. Why can't I find it here? Let me go to my subscriptions. I have so many subscriptions. And guys, just right now, just to tell you, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 16, including the two of us, people who are live right now talking about this. So, oh, that's what it is. I couldn't remember. There we go. Fluffer Squirrel UK. That is the channel to go to. I'm going to go to their community tab, because they have lists in their community tab of every protester, pardon me, around the world. Where is it here? Here we go. So, well, let's pull this up. Here we are. All right. We're at Fluffer Squirrel UK's channel. And this is a post from a month ago, but they do update this from time to time. So just these are people who go all over the place. Selfless, Danny, Jeff, PTS for Life, Moose on the Loose, Natalie, who's in Hawaii right now, and she's headed home. Denver, Scientology Audit, Silly Squirrel, Declared Dave, loves, and Keith 103, Likely Lost, but First Coffee, Subi Oberholtz, Gypsy Mimi Scientology Audit, Nancy Drew, and Paratology in LA, which is our largest contingent of protesters. We got Laura, Serge, Tori, literally Michael, Scientology Audit, Jacob Harkey, Jessica Palmadessa, Confidence Chris Without a Hellcat, Mismanage, LA Cam, Audit LA, DOA, which is their handle is Iconoclast Gypsy. Also, the Lore of DOA, they have 2 channels. Danny's Impact, Support of Leah, Aja Extravaganza, that's Hollywood Aja, Drones and Stuff, Tao, Spitology 7, Mindy Willens, Ween, Cuts E, Help Me Film Them, Solomon Streets, Chikikana, Dan Walks LA, Sense of Sassafras, Zachary Obama, BS Incinerator, Emila Montes, Eric Levi, and A New Generation with a J. In Sacramento, we got The Journey 2020, The Intuitive Inquirer. Pasadena's got MD Media 18, San Diego, FCP on Scientology. Phoenix, Heather in the Library, Dogs United Against Scientology. In Ventura, More Fun Than Sitting at Home. In Portland, we've got Liz, Hey Carrie Ann, Lisa Stay Off, Mike G, Rika, Nat, and Portland Supporter. And you got me too, because I'm going there now. San Francisco, we've got Scientology Traffic, Tasha Lee Andrews. In Seattle, we have SP TV Xenu New Seattle. Great cat.
I'm gonna help you finish that because I have to actually go.
So many names.
Thank you guys so much.
You're just gonna sign up, but guys, go to this page. I'll link it in the description. Make sure you're subscribing to all these guys. Make sure, if he removes himself, I'll remove him, Mena. But that's another story. We're gonna, guys, we've been going 2.5 hours talking about this. We could literally talk about it all day and all night. It's it is that it is that wild. But we have there are hundreds of protesters on this list who are out there every single day. There's some cities that are not quite represented by a person yet. If you guys are in that city and you want to like step up and turn on your camera and get out there, please do. We encourage you to shine a light on this and let the people know in your local Scientology area, kids cannot consent. We need to get the kids out of there and make sure we're repeating that loud and proud. Also, just as a heads up, Scientology has started trying to use penal codes in their favor, especially locally in Los Angeles, to say that people with megaphones and other things are disturbing a religious service. So, guys, it's Serge and I can tell you that the way the buildings are and where the auditing rooms, where the religious services are happening, and the course rooms, those are on the inner portions of the building. So people standing outside saying, whatever they're saying, there's a 0% chance of people inside those buildings hearing that are on course or in session.
Not even the point, Nora. The point
no,
is
it's my point.
Those need to be. They need to be disturbed. They need to be disturbed because the so-called religious service is abusing children. So
correct.
They need to be stopped. There's nothing illegal about stopping abuse of kids, and we have to be loud. I mean, in what world are we supposed to be whispering outside of these hotels that, oh, they're abusing kids? Let's make sure you whisper it because the child abusers are really going to stop abusing kids because they're being whispered to. I mean, LAPD, stop being stupid. Stop being willfully stupid. That's what in the hell it's called.
No. My point wasn't for the protesters to be quiet. My point is that they are trying to
even for the LAPD to be going, oh yeah, this violates this law. It's like, well, find out what in the hell is the so-called religious service.
Find out what they heard. Did they hear what words I said? Tell them to repeat it back to me. Send a recording device in there, and I'll keep protesting. And you tell me if you can hear me. Like we have to be.
Even if they heard it, it's good that they hear it because then the sessions would be stopped. Then the kids would be like, oh, we cannot continue a session if there's noise. I mean, that's a thing, you guys. You cannot have a session if you're being distracted. So the kids should be getting distracted. It should be impossible for these people to be auditing kids. Every day that goes by that kids are being audited, ethics handled, and being put into courses is a tragic day. That the United States is aiding and abetting institutionalized, systemic child trafficking and abuse of minors at an industrial size scale. And all police departments are complicit in doing so. They're aiding and abetting it. And we have that all on record. So before the idiots at the LAPD want to say, oh, but we didn't know, start finding out. Start doing your goddamn jobs. You get paid 6-figure salaries and you can't figure it out. What type of investigators are you at the LAPD? How can you connect a single dot if you cannot even connect a single dot?
Yeah.
So we are supposed to be interrupting these disgusting services because minors are ensnared and involved. So why is the LAPD making a big deal about this? Why, in what world are they pro getting children locked up against their will? Is it a felony? Yes or no, LAPD? Can any old random person just lock up a child up and say, you can't leave this room because I'm, questioning you about felonies? Why are children being locked up in hotels being asked about felonies?
Yeah.
And that's the religious. Yes. Answer us with the facts, not with your BS glib bullshit. Like, oh, religious services is said here. Well, what is a religious service? Being locked up against our will? We're pushing back on that false narrative. If that's the narrative you all have, then shame on you for being so stupid and gullible and naive and unable to have a single critical thinking skill for yourself. It's like, how much more clear can we possibly be? How much more clear can all of these advocates screaming for kids not to be abused?
Yeah.
While you all go and arrest the ones that are screaming for the abuse to stop happening. I mean, make it make sense. Like it's just unacceptable beyond.
Yeah. And just make sure when you are out there, as a mom, I want everybody to be safe. I don't like when people are being falsely imprisoned for being a child advocate. That makes me upset. And I share your anger.
Right now we're reverting to chalk tech. I mean, God forbid. I mean, yes, we don't want these people to continue be doing this, but we're still going to call them out. I mean, we're going to not give them something that's going to take our power away. Like, fine. You want to continue sabotaging our First Amendment right, LAPD? By all means, be on the record doing so, because we're catching all of it.
Yeah. This is very
every
true.
single day that you guys violate the law, every single day that you guys play dumb, every single day that you aid and abet the child traffickers is being recorded.
Yeah.
So get your lawyers in place for yourselves as well. The FBI was literally sued because why, LAPD? Because the Epstein victims, all of the Epstein victims investigations were bungled because all type of kids were abused because no matter how much we scream about it, y'all do nothing. Y'all just sit there and go, oh, let's help the child traffickers again. I mean, they do have us on speed dial. The U.S. gymnastics team sued the FBI because why? Because they did nothing.
Yeah.
And imagine the Scientology parents are doing what Larry and Jeffrey did on steroids.
Correct.
Video recording it, having all the transcriptions about their abuses on kids, and y'all still sit there outside, pathetically defending them. How stupid can law enforcement possibly be? How can there be nothing working inside their brains in this United States? In what world do we have agency after agency after agency with all manner of power, literally kneecapped, doing nothing? Just sitting there, arresting people because, the religious service was being interrupted. Well, find out what type of religious service is being interrupted, LAPD. Start finding out. And since you have such great relationships with Scientology, ask them. Ask them to show you a tape of them auditing a child. And if we're in the wrong, by all means, publish the tape and show, look, you guys, look at what's really being stopped. And, look, they're doing so great. And, Sergeant Nora out of their minds advocating for this.
Prove us wrong. Release the tapes. Show us, bring everybody outside and show us there aren't any kids in there. Show us. I dare you. I triple dog dare you, Scientology. I triple dog dare
We
you.
know what's on those tapes. That's why we're disgusted. That's why we're sounding the alarm code red, because we know. And yes, at the time, the pitch was we were helping save a world. We couldn't be more disgusted that we weren't saving nothing. We were ensnared in a criminal racketeering scheme that is aided and abetted by the IRS, that is aided and abetted by the LAPD, that is aided and abetted by the Clearwater Police Department.
Yes.
There are child traffickers, aiders, and abettors. This is state-sanctioned child trafficking. This isn't just happening in a vacuum where no one knows anything. Everybody knows.
Yeah.
So you know what? No one has an excuse. This isn't the Boy Scouts where people infiltrated and then did weird shit on the side. This is all parents brought their kids to harm's way.
Mm-hmm.
So live with that, Scientology parents. Start calling yourselves out already. Start taking responsibility. Start showing signs of remorse. Because all that's on the public record is that you all don't give a literal shred of an F. And you've had how many years to contend with the fact that you were scammed? I mean, how much longer do kids have to wait? Is what we're asking. How much longer, LAPD? Should kids be literally exposed to all of this disgusting, egregious abuse?
Yeah. Yeah. And Dylan, I agree with you. This is a stop I'm going to be making soon, not just outside the Portland org. But yes, Delphi will be getting a visit from me, from your friendly neighborhood SP. Absolutely. Guys, this has been amazing. Serge, you're always amazing. We are very passionate about this, rightly so, because we are in a lot of therapy to undo what happened to our childhoods. And we are trying to prevent other children from being harmed in that way. Okay. But I want to repeat before we close here that this is an extremely triggering content today, extremely triggering, not just for us, but for possible other audience members. And please, please, please take care of yourself today. If this has been upsetting or triggering in any way for you, please do whatever necessary to care for yourself. You know, I might go have some cake or something because food is my love language. But whatever you need to do, please do that. Phone a friend, you know, journal, whatever. But I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you for the support on the daily, the nightly, for all of the protesters out there. I've said it once. Somebody quoted me in the stream here. The never ends are going to end Scientology. They are going to be the ones who rise up and say, this is not okay. This has to end. And I thank you guys from the bottom of my heart every single day for what you do on behalf of us and for the kids that are still trapped in there. I sincerely appreciate it, because this entire channel and everything else wouldn't exist if you guys weren't out there helping us out every night. So thank you. Be safe out there. Tune in to the protests that are happening right now. We've got, like I said, 14 other people who are live right now out there protesting. Also, Pearl Fest is happening down in Texas. So give some love to our Pearl Snappy. She's a fierce force to be reckoned with, to be sure. All right. Anything you want to say before we close it out here, Serge?
No, just thank you everyone for holding space for these difficult conversations we're having.
All right. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.